Hello again everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all well and had a good week so far. Friday 30th of June. Absolutely flying through the year so far, aren't we? We've had FS Expo and everything else, and we're pretty much at the midway point of the year, or beyond the midway point of the year really. Hurtling towards 2024. Lots of other add-ons due for release at some point in the near future, of course, though. The PMDG 777, the Aerosoft A330, and lots of others as well. The Just Flight Fokker F28 Fellowship, and then going on from there, the F70 and F100 packs at some point in the future. So lots to look forward to over the next 6 to 12 months and beyond as well, in fact, for the Microsoft Flight Simulator community. It's great to have you all with us. We are today at the new Stockholm Arlanda airport. An Orbex payware scenery by, I think, one of their devs, indie devs, Marcus Nyberg, was it? Some payware scenery, but as you can see, I've paid for this. Like most of you guys, I don't get everything for free, of course. I'm happy to pay for things as and when I need it, and I'm a little bit, gotta say, underwhelmed with this. A lot of the textures, in fact, not some of the, but a lot of the textures outside and around are very low resolution, at least for me, which is so odd. Madcheck, hello. Lots of channel members in the chat already. Sam, Carlito, Badger, good morning, folks. Those of you the other side of the world, good evening to you. Gav, Ian, Gary, Rab, good morning. Sam, hello. David as well, and everyone else in the live chat. We are going to be heading out of Stockholm Arlanda on this lovely Ryanair route in the PMDG 737-800 for our flight across to the new iniBuilds Stansted. Look, Jesus, look at that. That's pretty shocking, isn't it? Jeez. Vodo, hello to you, living on a player. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hype with this. Everyone going, oh my god, the Stockholm Arlanda scenery is amazing. I haven't seen anything that's kind of blown me away as anything that I think is worth 15 to 20 quid, to be totally honest. There are some nice animations though, I have to say. The jetties work as well. It's something that wasn't in the Asobo version. And down here as well, we have a lot of buses doing the rounds inside the airport as we zoom about. They're going around their business as we're boarding here in our Ryanair 737-800. Stansted by iniBuilds, releasing imminently, potentially today. That's good, isn't it? Yeah, that'll do. Supposedly a proper GSX profile for this. Yeah, I can't see anything that kind of makes me think, you know what, yeah, this is worth the 15 to 20 quid. It doesn't look massively different to the freeware version that we have from Asobo that's already in the sim, to be totally honest. With the exception of those nice animations under the airport there. But yeah, overall, like I've said, it's very underwhelming. Perhaps maybe it will stand out more in the winter. Who knows? I don't know. Be interested to hear what you guys think of this anyway. But yeah, a little bit underwhelmed by this Arlanda scenery. It's odd because everyone else has said such good things about it, and I can't agree. Maybe that's why they didn't send it to me. Arif, saying he's got some issues with his 787. Check if you got GSX. Maybe call the ground power unit. Maybe try that. Grant saying the default is pretty good. Yes, I mean the big thing is the jetties don't move in the default Sobo Stockholm, but they don't really get animated much either. These, you know, it's not like the cover moves up and it's barely aligned itself with the aircraft anyway. So. Very odd. Right, let's focus on our flight then anyway before we get underwhelmed even more. What do we got? So, APU is firing up. Aztec's off to the pub to eat breakfast. Pint of Guinness perhaps with your full English breakfast maybe. Ian, hello to you. Will you be doing a video when East Midlands by BARMI Devco gets released? It's pure work of art. It certainly is a work of art. It looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? But yeah, when it does release, I'll be doing a video with it, most certainly. Charts, Bosch. So we're going to be departing here, gate 19 at Stockholm, Arlanda. Pushing and starting on in the apron here, the cul-de-sac, and then we're going to taxi out in Zulu. I think Doc put the taxi instructions somewhere anyway. I've lost it already, but we're going to go Zulu Whiskey to Whole Point Whiskey 8 runway 19 left. We're pretty heavy today, I suppose, on the grand scheme of things. So we're actually going to be flying with was it takeoff profile 1, I think, flap 5, and that's going to have us use almost all the runway. We'll be actually going wheels up at about Whiskey 3 there, so using a lot of the runway today with a slight derate as well, and flap 5 for takeoff. Straight on to the Rockney 5 Quebec, 183 degrees from 19 left. Rab, cheers buddy. So what we got? Zulu, uniform, Whiskey 7. 183, I might use Whiskey 8 though, because I do need as much as I can get. Whiskey 7's still at the end, isn't it? That'll do. We'll follow that. Almost fully boarded. We've got the Luke Air tool for cabin announcements as well. I should probably fire that up actually. Literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the stream was starting, I was sorting the dog out downstairs and making sure he's all settling, ready to rest. He's still in recovery. This is a bit of a test today. It will be the longest he's kind of been left on his own. So 183 down to Sierra Alpha 564, max 220 knots, at or above 1500 feet. Sierra Alpha 716. Christopher, hello. And then 268 degrees for 33 miles to Rockney, and then out to the Aros VOR 112.8. Sam says we've got approach online, exciting. From there, we're going to be zipping across over Oslo. Let's get the map up. There we go. So at BEDLA, we'll be turning. Oslo's up here, in fact, somewhere. It's about there somewhere. But yeah, we're going to be zipping over Scandinavia. What do we got here? Trollhättan Vänersborg, NDB. I picked the easy ones. Over the North Sea, we should hopefully, if there's no cloud, we should hopefully get some nice visuals down below of the mega Aerosoft North Sea pack, perhaps, and then down to BARMI for the BARMI to Alpha arrival via Abbott for the ILS runway 22 into Stansted. It was 04, that's what we planned for. They're now using 22, but again, if it changes, we might zip it about anyway and just change it. But either way, it's still going to be via Abbott, which keeps it nice and simple. There's the initial approach from Abbott, at least for 22. We'll look at all of that when we get a little bit closer towards our departure today. Let's get... we've got approach online, so we need to 12665. We need to get clearance and try and push in time. 12665. Let's get that part brake set as well. That is correct. Let's turn the charts off. And we've got information alpha.
Stockholm approach, good evening, sorry, good afternoon, Osprey 156, type 737, information alpha, stand 13, request IFR to Stansted please.
Winds currently 180 at 10, variable between 150 and 210 degrees.
Got a audio issues. Scandinavian 2023, where are you calling?
Chris just saying Sobo's Stockholm Arlanda doesn't have a single ground detail. It's like they modelled the whole thing from satellite photo, whereas Marcus modelled the details you see on the ground like equipment huts, correct textures, stuff that makes it feel like a real airport and not a 5-minute job that couldn't even get the ground markings correct. There is that. But I just find the textures very low resolution. Stockholm approach, good afternoon Ryanair, 32 Victor Golf, gate 19, 737 800 with information alpha, request clearance to Stansted. But like, I mean, as we said a moment ago, the clutter itself and the animations...
Victor Golf, Stockholm, hello, call you back shortly.
Okay.
Approach good.
Yeah, some of the animations under here make it quite nice. It does give it a little bit of a realistic feel. And from the flight deck, which is kind of one of the big features here, it looks quite nice, doesn't it? It does look good, but it's when we went beyond.
Right is closed due to runway work.
One thing I had noticed loading in earlier on as well is the Scandinavian hangars over there look really good from a distance, and all of this is really good from a distance. It's when you look at the textures of the hotels and the textures inside the terminal, it actually falls apart a little bit in my view, at least anyway. But it's nice to see that a lot of the kind of finer details are included.
Tell you can maintain 4,000 feet.
Because that is just as important as well, having that immersion in the airport. I guess that's what you're kind of paying for.
And 8 Delta All Tail, maintain 4,000 feet. On 8 Delta Hotel.
8 Delta Hotel.
Jeez.
Yeah, maintain 4,000 feet.
Christopher, no, but if my experience is low resolution, then your experience is going to be just as same sort of resolution, surely. Just because I've got a 4K PC.
Victor Golf, what are you calling clearance?
Hey firmware, with information Alpha, gate 19, 737-800 for clearance to Stansted, please.
And 32 Victor Golf, clearance to Stansted via Rockney 5 Quebec departure. Runway 19 left. Initial climb 5,000 feet, squawk 5436.
Cleared to Stansted, runway 19 left, Rockney 5 Quebec departure, initial climb 5,000 feet, squawk 5436 for Ryanair 32 Victor Golf.
23 Victor Golf here, back correct.
Ryanair 4718.
Do you want to request pushback? Yes. I like it when it just asks to double check.
Yes, call you back shortly.
Roger.
So, flight time of about 2 hours or so today. Here comes some of the nice animations that I have quite enjoyed actually by being on the ground here at stand 19.
2023, taxi stand 10.
Taxi stand 10.
That's really nice. It does make it kind of feel alive. That's where the scenery excels and goes far beyond the Asobo handcrafted version. It's just the terminal buildings, I think, they could be a little bit better, couldn't they? That's my opinion. Nox saying there that to Chris, it doesn't really matter because of LODs. MSFS has a pretty clear LOD specification. Yeah, I mean, in the interior we saw a moment ago, it was really low resolution, some of the textures.
2,500, 1003, Ryanair 8 Delta Hotel.
More of an observation than a criticism.
Thanks, I'm ready for clearance. We can do PDC if you wish as well.
5436.
Okay, go ahead and do that. Anyone not PDC available? Ready for clearance.
Osprey 156 unable for PDC.
Osprey 156, Stockholm, hello, information Alpha.
So, 5,000, 184, 159, 266 for Aros.
5,000 feet.
Maverick, we're going to my first workplace in the UK, very exciting. Custom profile here, so we've got standard pushback and quick edit pushback.
Departure, initial altitude 5,000 feet, squawk 5403.
Yeah, Nox, this is Stockholm though, this is the Marcus Nyberg Orbex Stockholm. Ryanair 32 Victor Golf, fully ready, request push start. Let's get rid of the music. Look at that, the music is called We Are On Our Way. Push start approved, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf.
Arlanda approach, Scandinavian
528. The Stansted scenery, by the way, guys, is really good. I've been very impressed. The textures look pretty good as well, but we'll have a good look in detail. There are a few criticisms that I've got again with it, which we'll look at. One of those, I think, is the Stansted Express. Unless it's changed in this update from this morning prior to its release, it may well be the case that ignition mode ground, they didn't seem to be animated, so they just sit at they just kind of sit at the terminals. I'd like to see them kind of roll off the station every now and again, but again, that's an animation that could affect performance, I suppose. But we'll have a little look at the scenery when we get there. 320, engine 2 to run,
66 for Scandinavian 528.
and we'll start the safety demonstration.
Possibly 156 ready for start.
May we have your attention while we point out some of the safety.
I haven't checked actually, Harry. We'll have a look.
Please remove headphones during
Osprey 156, push and start its
emergency exits. Each
What's that with Osprey 156?
exit sign. Four-path markings along the cabin aisle will illuminate in darkness and guide you to the nearest exit in an
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird looking scenery, isn't it? But it is nice. As an airport, it's in a great location for some European ops.
230 clear LS bridge 26 Ryanair Delta Hotel.
overwing exit in the center of the cabin, to left and to right. Please note the nearest
I'll break on.
exit, which
We have a
may
good
be
engine
behind
start.
you.
You
To
can
fasten your
disconnect.
seatbelt, insert the metal end into the buckle. To secure, pull on the loose end of the strap, and to open, lift the buckle.
Yeah, jetways are pretty good. I think if they were going on about how animated they were, I would rather them actually have the sliding shutter.
From the panel above your
That
head.
would be, in my mind, the kind of the right decision. Otherwise, you look left and the passengers are walking through the shutter. So you might as well just have a static jetway.
37 Kilo Alpha Stockholm, hello, information Alpha, clearance to Stansted, Rockney 5 Quebec departure, 5,000 feet, squawk 4463.
In a pocket beneath your seat or in the panel above your head.
So the iniBuilds Stansted scenery, folks, is expected to release today at some point. So very exciting.
Approach Tom Jet 4 Lima Mike, information
That's
Alpha,
on.
requesting clearance to Stansted.
Inflation or deflation and a light to attract attention. Do not
Kom igen, 4 Lima Mike, Stockholm, hello, information Alpha is correct, clearance to Stansted
not
via
quite.
Rockney 5 Quebec departure, 5,000 feet,
Maybe
squawk
use off.
5415.
ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened.
Lap
Rockney
5.
Quebec, initial time 5,000, score 5415.
I don't know the price yet, Harry, no.
We recommend for your
Kom igen, 4 Lima Mike, feedback correct.
keep your seatbelt fastened.
Ryanair 32 Victor Golf, request taxi.
There is a call bell, reading light, and fresh air vent in the panel above your head.
Ryanair 32 Victor Golf, taxi to holding point runway 19 at left via Zulu and uniform.
Please select
Taxi all point 19 left by Zulu and uniform. Ryanair 32 Victor Golf.
baggage under the seat in front of you.
Ryanair 4718, we're still waiting on our clearance for PDC.
GSX is gone.
That smoking is not permitted. Thank you.
Ryanair 4718, I have not got any PDC requests.
Enjoy your flight.
So out to Zulu.
Ryanair 8 Delta Hotel, wind is 180 degrees, 10 knots, variable between 150 degrees.
Oh my
26 Ryanair
god.
Delta Hotel.
There go all of our ears.
Ryanair 4718, information Alpha,
Oh.
standard 5 in a Boeing 757-800. Request IFR clearance to London Stansted, please.
Yeah, Christopher, you missed Knox's point entirely there.
4718, hello. I'm
Just
looking
gonna
at the
quick wiggle
flight
of the
plan.
rudders.
I'm missing a first waypoint in your flight plan.
Engine looks good. Let's clear the
what's
bottom
your first
screen. Run that. LNAV. VNAV. Auto thrust.
First waypoint in the flight plan is Alpha Romeo Sierra.
I've not had VPilot do that for a little while, but I forgot how horrendous it is when it does happen.
4718, clearance to Stansted via the Rockney 5 Quebec departure.
Okay, flat 5.
Climb 5,000 feet, squawk 5443.
No, it's very rare that it happens, Boozer.
Cleared Stansted on the Lockney 5 Quebec departure. Initial
M1
climb
limit then,
5,000
so take
feet.
off 1, climb
Score
profile 2, and there's our
5443,
speeds. Flat
Ryanair
5, take off trim
4718.
to 606, we've got to set that.
Ryanair 3 Victor Golf, you're taxiing the wrong way, but okay, for now I told you Zulu and uniform. The uniform is to the south.
If, do you want me to go left on Yankee and back onto Zulu?
Taxi by Yankee is closed due to work. So taxi then Zulu and Whiskey, holding runway 19 left.
Taxi, Zulu and Whiskey, 19 left, Ryanair 32 Victor. Golf. I was getting sidetracked there, massively.
Osprey 156, please set your squawk that you got the UN clearance, 5403.
Neo, I'm looking to pick up, sorry, with Alpha, looking to pick up my airport clearance too, and then Stansted.
Plus, I kind of wanted to go past the SAS hangars.
Osprey 156, please set your squawk 5403.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't think you put uniform in the Discord.
Taxi via Zulu, southbound of Zulu.
I wrote down Zulu
uniform, point runway 19
whiskey
left.
whiskey 7 and then changed to whatever they said.
Taxi southbound of Zulu, uniform, holding point 19 west, that's the way 156.
Right, everyone else flying along, don't follow me.
And who was calling for clearance?
Osprey 569 Alpha stand 12.
PVR LPE, hello to you. Ah, you know what? You've created the GSX profile, haven't you, for this one, I believe? If I've got it right.
Departure 5,000 feet.
Mini Dingo, no, not doing the return.
27.
Squawk 5427, clear Stansted off, runway 19 left in the Rockney 5 Quebec, departure Osprey 569 Alpha.
Zooming along.
569 Alpha, redirect.
We've got
Scandinavian 528.
got to pretend like it's all fine.
Requesting pushback and started.
Yeah, the profile is fantastic.
528 push and start is approved.
Push and start approved. Scandinavian.
Hello Andy, welcome. Some different jetties there, look. Got some glass ones in what I assume is the new version.
Taxi to stand 10
New, kind of like the new part of the terminal building.
Zulu Mike.
10 X-ray Zulu Mike, Ryanair 8 Delta Hotel.
That Ryanair must be thinking, what the heck?
Go eftermiddag, we force 1 Extra Lima at flight level 170.
Let's get out of his way.
Speed for 1 Extra Lima, Stockholm, go ahead. Set the squawk 0267.
There's the Scandinavian building. So again, from a distance it looks really nice, but you get up close and the textures are pretty
Speed for 1 Extra Lima, set squawk
pretty
0267.
low res.
0267.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can kind of say about the scenery. It's really nice what they've done. I suppose that is, I guess, why they didn't want me to review it, perhaps, I don't know. I was keen to, though. But I purchased it anyway, because it's an important bit of scenery in a great location that opens up a whole host of really good routes, a really nice part of the world. So I wanted to get it regardless, but I did think, based on the hype from others, that it would be, the textures would have been a lot more crisp than they are. It's my only kind of setback criticism for it, really. But the rest of it looks fantastic, and the textures and the rest of it are really good as well. And the GSX profile that you can download from PVR LPE is very good as well.
Stockholm,
I'm right toward the airport. Took a right proper wrong turn, didn't I?
Rockney 5 Quebec. 5,000 feet, squawk 5-4.
I think where I've gone here is I've seen Zulu on the charts, and then I found whiskey going between April H and J, and then not noticed uniform down further down below.
It's Rockney 5 Quebec.
It's a bit blurry actually. This taxiway here, look.
Spain 932, lead back left.
Ryanair 4718, stand 35, request push and start.
And 4718.
Yeah, knobs don't rise to it.
Push and start approved, Ryanair 4718.
Two fly hangar.
And 32 Victor Golf, line up runway 19 left.
Line up 19 left, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf.
Speed force 1 Extra Lima, Stockholm radar contact.
Mr. Misterno, hearing your own Swedish accent on that sim is always a bit cringe to me. 747 hotel on the left. Oh look, Spotter's Point. See, if we hadn't have gone this way, we wouldn't have seen it.
Scandinavian 528 is ready to taxi to runway 19 left.
Lovely lake there. Over the bridge. So, what have we got? They're on continuous. We're going to pop that off. Runway lights on.
Trusa 1 uniform.
Going to pop those on.
When ready,
Transponder on. Accelerating a little bit there. Fuel flow reset rate. Traffic mode on. Final check, master cautions. Cream cheese, we haven't started yet.
528 to taxi southbound Zulu and
Approach is clear.
Turning point runway 19 left.
The kind of gravity's helping us down here. We're just going downhill all the time. We don't need SmartFan, don't need TCAS on the ground, buddy.
8 Delta Hotel, sorry, I maybe gave you wrong stand. You can just text stand on choice.
I would still take a stand 10 if that's okay, Ryanair 8 Delta Hotel.
Yeah, some people just don't like others' opinions, Knox. That's the problem.
The ATC, good day.
Doesn't matter.
And 22 Victor Golf, wind is 180 degrees, 10 knots, variable between 150 degrees and 210 degrees. 19 left, clear for takeoff.
19 left, clear for takeoff, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf.
Osprey
So,
156, line up
stick
runway
forwards.
19 left, in sequence.
40%. By the way, my new Honeycomb Bravo's now arrived. Haven't set it up yet, but I will do soon. Brakes off.
Osprey 932, ready for start.
Toga. Pressed the wrong button there. Start as you mean to go on. Power set.
932, push and start is approved.
Please start approved, Osprey 932.
Holding the nose wheel down till about 80 knots so we get some rudder authority.
And at 37 Kilo Alpha, taxi turning point.
Here we go.
Runway 19 left via Zulu and Whiskey.
Taxi, holding point 11 left, Zulu and Whiskey.
You're up. Following the flight directors.
Trying to go down uniform.
Normally, if you're in that northern part of the
terminal,
usually go the northbound route.
Alright, thank you very much. Zulu Whiskey to holding 1119 left, Ryanair 37 Kilo Alpha, thank you.
CMDA engage. Plane's got it. Through 2000. I mean, it's a big unit though, the Honeycomb Bravo. I hadn't appreciated how big it was. That's the only thing. Speeds, gear levers up. Reduce the flaps, we're going to do flaps 1 for now. Runway turn off lights off, engine start mode selector switches off.
And 32 Victor Golf, report your altitude.
Airborne 2,500 feet, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf.
32 Victor Golf, radar contact, climb to flight level 140, high speed approved.
Flight level 140, high speed approved, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf.
Osprey 156, wind is 180 degrees, 10 knots, variable between 150 and 210. 19 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff on the 19 left, Osprey 156.
Ryanair 4718, request taxi.
4718, taxi via Zulu and uniform, holding point runway 19 left.
Yeah, so I've got the I've obviously got the next level racing Boeing seat, haven't I? That massive kind of big hefty seat that I've got, and it is remarkably good. It's got custom mounts and things for as well, like the Honeycomb Alpha and the Bravo. The mount that I'm using at the minute is for my Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight yoke. Now, it's got a little side arm though, that's for the throttle. This mount won't be able to take the weight of the Bravo, or the size of it, I don't think. So, might have to have a little bit of a reconfigure. Fiddle around with a few things. Dorman, good morning. And might have to rechange the mount, so I think that's going to be tomorrow's little project. If I get some chance. 35,000.
Osprey 932, taxi via Zulu and uniform. Holding point runway 19 left.
Taxi Zulu.
1228 through standards. 1013 on the standby instruments as well.
And we do thank you for your attention once we have...
Again, Luke Air Tool, but randomly in all of the packs that don't have sound packs for things like after takeoff, they've put American Airlines ones in. I really don't understand why.
I
think it's a new thing.
5,000 feet, KNH 1003.
It was 150, wasn't it?
Descend 5,000 feet, said you, and QNH.
Joey, I would be tempted to, but Honeycomb emailed me and said, that's really great, but they have enough content creators and therefore don't need a review. I tend to avoid reviewing things where they don't really interact as positively as I would have hoped. Maybe, you know. I need to spend a little while working it all out, configuring it though first. Swifty. So if you're using their Luke Air Tool Pack X version, it's called what's it called? Pack Sim. Then that will automatically trigger it basically, but instead I just click them manually. Also folks, I think this is the 3rd time ever flying Ryanair on the channel, but because it is Stansted I thought it'd be quite fitting. Gotta say, the clouds here look remarkable. For those of you able to stream in 2K 60 frames per second on the output, then do make sure you whack it right up on there, and hopefully you're getting blown away by some of these visuals. That sim is a hit on performance depending on how busy it all is on the network possibly, and what you're using for model matching and things, but not massively. Christopher saying there are great Airbus mods for the Bravo, hint hint. I've been looking at some of them. They look really cool. Part of me is holding out for the Honeycomb flap detent add-on. It'll have that little spring lever flap thing, which looks really cool. Oop, let's get rid of those. We'll go to number 6. There's some good wing views sailing away out of Stockholm. Tracking the flight on Volanta as well, so I'll pop some of the screenshots along our journey today onto there. And in a short while we'll be handed over to Unicom.
Send 2,500 feet in the start cleared restaurant 12, 341 Lima.
528, wind is 180 degrees, 10 knots.
The livery, by the way, is by Ethereum Liveries on flightsim.to. They make really exquisite, really exquisite ones, and includes this wonderful cabin. Look at that. Fantastic livery creator. Put a lot of work into trying to make it as realistic as possible, given the models and the aircraft as well. Not always possible. Oh my god, look at that storm. Holy Christ. We'll leave them on. Christopher saying you can already buy that stuff from Etsy. Black Box 711 bought some, and he's very happy in his real A320 pilot.
Roger, line up runway 19 at left, Ryanair 4718.
Shame we don't have a weather radar.
3 Victor Golf, leaving my space, no further ATC, monitor Unicom. Have a nice night, bye bye.
Monitor Unicom for Ryanair 32 Victor Golf. Thanks to the ATC, and sorry about the wrong turn.
No worries. Spare 156, aim for you, leaving my space, monitor.
Let's flick across. We're going to be going straight into some horrendous looking pea soup. Let's get wing anti-ice on. We're climbing with some decent power output, so let's go back to here. We're going to go altitude intervention to continue the climb up. M1 mode, get some power going on the engines, keep them hot. Here we go. Jeez. I mean, here's a question. I suppose it's angled at real pilots, real airliner pilots. At what level of experience does this moment, entering what looks to be a horrendous storm, stop being daunting? Or does it ever stop being daunting? There's a kind of a question of the day for real airliner pilots. I've always found it interesting, sat in the jump seat when I was crew, but it often crossed my mind thinking, I wonder what that was going through the pilot's head at the moment. Jeez, look at that. Alright, should we start the giveaway timer to launch the question? As always, the terms and conditions are in the live chat, or the live stream description, sorry, at the bottom. Do give it a read. By entering, you adhere to and agree to adhere to the YouTube terms of service and community guidelines at all times. Have to say that bit as well, and YouTube doesn't endorse nor is involved in the giveaway. All you got to do is make sure you subscribe to the channel first, and then answer the question that I'll ask correctly in the live chat. Only answer the once, otherwise it will render your answer ineligible. And if you're drawn as a winner, you have 24 hours to contact me via email, britishafgeek1@gmail.com, or through Discord to claim your prize. And you'll need a account with iniBuilds for that. So there it is. The giveaway question in the chat. The ICAO code for London Stansted is Echo Golf Sierra Sierra, but what is the 3-letter IATA airport code for the airport? If you're enjoying today's live stream as well, give us a like throughout the stream. Sam's saying we need a decent weather radar. Christopher's saying Flight Sim Factory. I think somebody posted a link to that the other day actually. And they've closed for orders until mid-July, I think it was, so I'm holding out. I have got them bookmarked actually. Yeah, Rab, true. In real life they would divert away from it. Depends what's on the weather radar, I suppose. We won't know. Centre tanks are empty. 1 and 2, confirm, off. We'll recheck. 3860 over 3910, so fuel balance is still absolutely fine. We don't need to worry about that. 380, and we'll turn the collar around because we're going to be heading southwesterly soon. David is not interested in having to take apart my Bravo levers for many of those add-ons. Andrew's asking, do you still do, good morning Andrew, do you still do general aviation flying in your own time to hone your skills in the small aircraft in preparation for your next real PPL training flights? I think you'll enjoy the Cessna 182RG. Sadly no. I'm well and truly out of cash for PPL. One of those things, it happens. It's grossly unaffordable now flying, certainly if you're starting from a low number of hours. Give it a few years, yet again the airline industry will be moaning that they don't have enough pilots and they can't recruit enough pilots, yet a lot of us in my position are kind of prevented from actually even trying. I mean, total airline pilot training in the UK now, if you were to do it from start to finish, is around £120,000 sterling. What? So 170,000 US dollars. It's an eye-watering sum of money that most people in the real world can't afford. Joey saying there, are you going to use your Turtle Beach Velocity 1 yoke with the Bravo throttle, or are you going to use another yoke? Yeah, so I've still got my Turtle Beach Velocity 1. I'm going to unclick the throttle element of it, and I'm going to connect the Bravo throttle instead. So I'll still use the Turtle Beach yoke for now. I'm waiting for the Alpha Pro, but I'm very tempted with that Pendula Thrustmaster Boeing. But it's just the price. I think it's something like £350 to £400 roughly. Maverick, yeah, I shared it all over my social media. Twitter, Facebook, all that. I've popped a little thing on there to those of you in the UK who are familiar with Currys. There's a massive deal on at the moment with Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo, both at £100 off. So 149 quid is Maverick saying there for the Bravo. That's why I've purchased one, because it's just an incredible price. Exactly, Christopher. Yes, bang on. They keep screaming about we can't recruit enough pilots, we can't recruit enough pilots, yet they took away those integrated sponsorship programs from years ago that I was hoping to be able to take part in growing up. That's what I was really focusing on all the way through school, and then they ripped it away from everybody. And they don't seem to have the taste or ability to actually, or desire rather, to want to go back to that kind of system again. Yeah, it's about £250 an hour now for PPL training. Depending on what you're going to be training in. And that's for a PA-28. Now that means that on that basis you're looking at almost £15,000 sterling just for a private pilot's license. But yeah, you're not only, so the 120 or so thousand pounds isn't gonna, all that does is get you the ability to start to get the licensing, but you have to keep all of the licenses in date throughout your training and beyond your training all the way through to employment. So it will be beyond £120,000, it will be near to 150, £200,000, £250,000, as long as it would take you to keep everything current all the time until you get your employment with an airline. And then nowadays you're paid crap money. I would have to take a fairly big pay cut to be able to go and be an airline pilot. But it's one of those things. I've kind of, yeah, there's a lot of you know, the big thing is always trying to be optimistic, isn't it, with flying. Those of you like myself who have had that dream for, you know, ever since I can remember, of wanting to be a pilot. But now at the age of 31, 32, I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that that's never going to happen. Life gets in the way, affordability being the biggest obstacle. So flight sim it is. But there's a lot less responsibility involved with flight simming. And less debt. Win-win. I think the only real, reasonable way to become an airline pilot, for those of you looking to do it, unless you're in that top 1% of society that can just throw the cash at it and afford it, is to go and join the military. So, looking at the Royal Air Force or something like that for your service. 8 to 12 years, I think, at least the last time I looked at it. And then you can come out and apply to move across to the airline world. I know a lot of airline pilots in Thompson, now TUI in the UK, that are all ex-military, or ex-Royal Navy and everything else, and Royal Air Force as well. Christopher saying the aviation industry has been perfectly happy recruiting ex-military and then having private schooled work for scraps until they get to the magic amount of hours that make you somehow good enough. Oh yeah, Swamp, trust me. The entire public sector has been wrecked by political correctness. You can't recruit now based on ability, because that might be offensive to some people. "25 years ago, Tormund, yeah. Not 205 years ago. My god, he's a vampire." Yeah, Jetty, but you've got to pay for that, buddy. Can't talk about it, Harry. Unfortunately. I think Ryanair are fitting all of their aircraft with split scimitars, aren't they? In the near future. Looks pretty good though. Get some views of the ground. I mean, I did flying training years ago through the Air Cadets, where I was an instructor for a few years, and one of the lads there was lucky enough to have parents that were able to afford his flying training. But whenever I speak to him, he just says that he hates it. He's moved airline 4 times now, finds it immensely boring. Even on the 747s, he enjoyed it for a little while, then just found it very mundane, he said, which surprised me actually. I always thought I would love it every day. I think maybe I would, who knows. It's one of those things I'll never find out, I guess. Maverick, none. Ideally you do fly though every now and again. Unfortunately with Osprey Airways at the moment, I had a look yesterday, we have 125 pilots who haven't done a single flight yet. And in the next month or so, I'm going to have to pay for New Sky on a monthly fee. So please do, if you're in Osprey Airways, please do fly. For pilots, it will always stay free. But for virtual airline owners, on New Sky, it'll be like VAMSIS, and we have to actually pay to maintain the virtual airline on their server, with a bit of a nominal kind of small fee. So please do fly if you're flying for Osprey Airways. Keith says, become an aircraft tech. Ryanair are offering 90,000 euros, I assume, a year in Cork. My goodness. Hey, Ian. You know, we were talking about me potentially making the move to Western Australia. I was chatting to a colleague about it again the other day at work, and he's now spoke with his missus, and he's fired an email off to the people that are trying to get us to go over there with our skill sets, and he's going for it. He's going to try. Yeah, it's not too dissimilar really for the military here in the UK, Christopher. To be fair, the in effect the pay has always been low because of the perks you got in return. One of those being pension, but the public sector pensions in the UK have just been destroyed massively. So that kind of, you look towards the end of your service and you think, right, however many years down the line I'm going to have this really nice pension as a way of the government saying thank you for your service. Now that's gone. So a lot of folk are looking at it going, well, hold on, why am I being paid this rubbish amount of cash every month and every year when I know that at my end of service I'm not going to have much pension either? So then they just leave. Exactly, Ian. I'm hoping I can pick his brains about the whole process of applying for the transfer process. Because I've heard we could take our pensions across and all that sort of stuff as well. Very tempted. The more it becomes a mess here, the more I find myself drawn. Although the missus said, I'm still working on the missus. She said today, when I said, oh, so and so at work's just applied, he's doing it, let's do it. The answer I got was, we've got the dog. We can't go until we do, until the dog passes. But also, she doesn't want to leave her parents in the UK, so probably it's not going to happen for me. Yeah, Christopher. Yeah, very true. All like my mum, she never actually got to draw her pension because she passed away before that. So I suppose, yeah, in a way, what's the point? Just spend it while you can. Enjoy it while you can. Dorma says, I've been remiss in my Osprey duties. Real life has been in the way. Just got back from my 2 weeks London Island trip, so I'll start getting back into some ops. It's no worries at all, Dorman. It's some people that have never at all even done one flight. Chaz, we wouldn't be able to. Basically, my dog wouldn't survive the move effectively. He gets very stressed in stuff like that. So I think in Australia you have to. They go into like a 3 or 6 month quarantine, don't they? My dog wouldn't last, sadly. He'd get way too stressed for that sort of thing. Alberta, good morning, welcome. Yeah, Christopher, a month ago. 90 days. It's 89 days too long for him, sadly. The amount of stress that he gets himself into is insane. It's not fair on him. So it wouldn't be able to happen for us. I've got a German Shepherd, Gary, who is recovering from major surgery at the moment. Ooh, PC specialist. So I've reached out to PC Specialist about my, for those of you on my Discord server, at least in the members chat, I've been talking about the weird bang noise every time I turn the PC on, and it almost makes a little bit of poo come out every time because it's so loud. I did old Dr. Google the other day for it, and it was like, oh, it's probably a capacitor inside the PSU blowing, and I thought, oh my god, that doesn't sound good at all. So I've contacted PC Specialist to say, I have a very loud bang noise that happens every second or third time I turn the computer on. So I turn the power on from the socket, then I turn the PSU power switch on, and at that point, the second it goes to the little 1 position for on, I get this huge bang noise that goes off. I don't know if it's the sound coming through the speakers, maybe the speakers popping from power going through the circuit, or if it's a bang from inside the computer, which would not be good. So they've just emailed me saying, can you take the speakers out and try and replicate it? Christopher, it says, is it a bang or like a donk? I'd have to... How would a donk sound? If it's quite a bassy donk, kind of between that and a bang, it comes across as a bang. Or like a mini explosion. But I'm gonna, every time I've turned my computer on now, I've been recording it in case it happens, and funnily enough, it hasn't hasn't happened since. I think it's the speakers. I hope so, otherwise I've got a big problem. Yeah, it's like going to a mechanic doorman with your car with the little the spanner symbol, which could mean one of a million things. Yeah, I think it's a bit in between a donk and a bang then. I'm gonna have to record it to try and I have to try and get it so it triggers when it does happen next, so that we can work it out. But it's, the whole PC's brand new, of course. So to be fair, PC Specialist have replied really quickly. I fired the email off to him an hour and a half ago. Night Shadow's asking, is the ATR 42600 and the ATR 72600 a study level aircraft? It's high fidelity. I don't think it's exact to how it's meant to be, but it is pretty good. So I would say, yeah, it's a high fidelity aeroplane. It's got its quirks and its bugs though, a couple of issues. I know with SimBrief at the moment there's this weird kind of intermittent thing with the integration of SimBrief where it will forget your username a lot, but also when you add the flight plan route it doesn't always load the airways properly, so it will load the first and the last ones. But not the waypoints in between. So that is fixed. I've spoke to Hans about it, and he said that that is fixed in the next ATR update. Whenever a Sobo push it through, it's already fixed. We just need that content manager update for the ATR to be released, and that will fix that issue with the airway integration stuff with the SimBrief EFB within the ATR. Yeah, under warranty. Rab, they've asked me to record it. Yeah, I've got a search protector plugged in as well, and it doesn't show It doesn't have the sort of green light to say that there's been a surge detected. Andrew saying Aerosoft are teasing us with the A330 video. Yeah, we watched it during yesterday's live stream, in fact. Was it yesterday's live stream or the one before? I can't remember when we streamed last. My goodness. Might have been the day before yesterday. Kevin, I think you're right. I think you're right. James saying he's had great experience with PC Specialist. 2 PCs off them so far. Highly recommend them. Yeah, it's pretty good. If the strip suddenly goes back. Yeah, I guess if there's a massive power issue with my PC, being a 1200 watt PSU, I would assume it would trip my entire house. So it's probably the speakers. Otherwise the sim wouldn't be able to run and I'd be getting weird behaviour, wouldn't I? With the PC frying itself slowly. Cruising along, flight level 380. Cost index typically about 8, 9, but for Ryanair ops, but we've gone for cost index of 30. My favourite cost index for the 737. Got fairly nose-high pitch, haven't we, actually? But yeah, very true, Ashley, there would be that. Gary, no, I've just got rudders. Good afternoon, Lazarus. Hello to you. So, with the update as we're flying towards Stansted, the update this morning through the iniBuilds manager, they've now enabled within the beta prior to its release the configurator, which is the little toggleable settings options. So when you install this Stansted scenery now, you get a number of options like statics, turning them on and off, some clutter options, the animated tram that goes between the terminals as well. So I've left everything on except for the static aircraft, because we're flying on VATSIM, therefore I like all of the static aircraft to be switched off, so we don't have that. We don't have aeroplanes all around in the way to see what happens. Statics on VATSIM, more often than not, cause a lot of problems. So that's the only thing I've toggled off. Everything else is switched on. In fact, I can read them out to you if I load up the ini manager. Bear with me. Ini. There it is. Ini manager app. GeForce Game Ready driver is available. Click to install with GeForce Experience. Go away, not now. Literally in the sim. So version 0.1.1 changelog. Beta added scenery configurator options. Tidied up ortho. Covered visible aircraft on default ortho. Removed some of the Ryanair statics. And removed interior glass wall blocking the walkway. And added some missing markings. So that's what they've done in this update from this morning prior to its release. The configurator have 3 options within the scenery features configuration. Static aircraft, which is what I've turned off. Animated terminal train, that's switched on, and the terminal people in the terminal, I've got that switched on as well. So they're the 3 options that you currently have for Stansted. EGSS. But yeah, you guys will have to tell me if it's out now or not. It may release during the stream, who knows. Andrew, the Fokker F28 I think was meant to come out relatively soon, but FS Expo might have delayed that a little bit, who knows. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you guys a preview of that in the next couple of weeks. Bluebird 757 is, they keep saying soon, but that's going to be next year, I think, realistically. But it's looking like that's coming on nicely as well. I said yesterday that I think roughly early August for the Aerosoft A330 at a guess. Maybe not long after that for the PMDG 777, who knows? But this is development, isn't it? It's coding and development and scripts and things like that. So nobody really knows when it's all going to release. Mr. Misterno asking, can you switch off static aircraft at Orbex airports too? Not all of them. Only if there's a customizable configurator option inside the product tab when you've installed it on Orbex Central. Ashley saying Bluebird have always said at the end of this year for release of the 757, but they've now warned that it could slip to Q1 2024. David's asking, I wonder when the content creators will get early access to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Who knows? Probably only the folk on Twitch. That's always the pattern, isn't it? YouTuber not allowed. Living the dream. Good afternoon. Just broken through the cloud at flight level 310 on my way to 360 in the flyby A321X in gorgeous Osprey livery, enjoying this afternoon's flights to Stansted, he says. Epic. Let's have a look actually, on that note, at those flying along today. Who have we got? So we've got Badger up front in the 747-8. Lovely. Oh, British Airways World Cargo. Old school classic. Love it. Sam, Osprey 156 in the 737-900. He's got, there we are. One screenshot uploaded, looking juicy. Love that Holidays livery. Scandinavian 528 Ski Boy in the 737-700. Jack, Ryanair 37 Kilo Alpha, 737-800. Zooming along with 3 screenshots so far through the pea soup. Big pea soup. There he is. Is that MSFS? Not sure. Gav, flying along late for him. The far side of Australia. Ryanair 37 Kilo Alpha. And Graham, Osprey 569 Alpha. With a screen grab there. Oh, look at that. A320 Neo, Osprey livery, love it. This is an official route now, by the way. So those of you flying for Osprey Airways, Flight Sim Gamer UK flying along Osprey 932. And we've got Troop Flight. No destination. Flying offline by the looks of it. Over Stockholm, Västerås. That's all of us, I think. Yeah, happy days. There's that weather that we flew through, that huge weather cell there as well. And there we are, just north of Gothenburg, heading out over towards the North Sea now. Ah, so Christopher, that's a good point actually, I'm glad you mentioned it. There's an Osprey still on the ground at Stansted. Are they flying the opposite direction? Night Shadow, yeah, we've discussed MSFS 2024 on a previous stream. I can't remember which one it is though. I'm sure you guys will point it out in no time though. Andrew saying, will you be flying back in Japan at some point in the future? Absolutely. There's a lot going on, so I have to go and see Gdansk as well. No doubt said the wrong pronunciation of it though. But that Drzecki design scenery recently released. I have now got it installed. Gav, thank you very much. Epic. Gifting 5 channel memberships out to some of you guys watching. Very generous of you, Gav. Thanks for the support. Welcome to our 5 new channel members for the next month. Make sure you link your YouTube accounts into your Discord user settings. You'll get access in our Discord to the Club Lounge for the month as well. James Tomaski. Mark Taylor Rab is already there. He's just fuddled into the green. Avsim and Anth, welcome guys. 5 of you getting that membership for the month, courtesy of Gav. So, Christopher was mentioning about the Aerosoft A330 preview, saying there, I saw some troubling things in the A330, mainly scripted wing flex that jump between states and not dynamic like other MSFS aircraft. Now, I've had a look at it. That is down to basically the replay add-ons that are getting used. So not all of them can kind of pin in the wing flex animations properly, and the Aerosoft A330 seems to be affected by that. So it's a little bit deceiving actually with the way the A330 looks in the trailer, because I think Aviation Lads who did the recording of it, I think they use flight control replay. I'm not sure, but I know it's a problem in Sky Dolly as well. Not all of the animations work properly with the replay function, so that's why it looked a little bit weird with some of the wing flex and things like that. But you can be sure I'll bring you previews of the A330 when it comes, nearer the time. Dark Fury, welcome buddy. Very good, thank you. Hope you're well. I have some emails to show you, in fact, at some point. I know, Rab. Your name blended into the green gifts, and I didn't read it properly. I was hurtling through the names, foolishly hurtling through the names. Aerosoft North Sea pack is now coming into view as well, so we've got a little bit of North Sea clutter, which is nice. Brings the sea to life somewhat. In an otherwise, oh my goodness me, look at that! In an otherwise vast amount of blue nothingness. Very nice. We should have a lot more of that as well. Flying over towards the UK. Let's have a look to see what we might be expecting at Stansted. So I don't know if there is any ATIS on. We can find out though by clicking here and having a look at our VATSIM ATIS widget. Oh, we do have ATIS. Expect ILS approach runway 22, transition level 75. Visibility 10 kilometers, winds 210 at 16 knots, few clouds 3,900, scattered 4,700, temperature 19 degrees, dew point plus 10, QNH 1012. So that's good. What we're expecting then, with that in mind, is this. Charts. We had a little look at it on the way, aren't we? But we're zooming along quite quick, so we can chat about it now. BARMI 2 Alpha arrival into Stansted today, and then we're going to be expecting the ILS runway 22 approach via Abbott. So over BARMI, over the North Sea at flight level 260, Megal at flight level 220, then to Ditob, past RF Watersham at Lapra max 250 knots, flight level 120, and then into Abbott, flight level 80, max 220 knots. David, you know what? Well, I didn't. Did you? I couldn't work it out. I actually, the more I got into it, the more confused I got. So I never actually was able to connect properly. I don't think it was a bit weird. Yeah, Andrew asking about Dreamliner flight soon. We're looking at doing a 747-8 stream or a 787-10 stream next time round. Might have to do something via Gdansk though. London TMA's online at the moment. Good stuff. Yeah, the giveaway. Hi Flyer, hello to you. Giveaway question is in the chat. I'm asking today, the ICAO code for London Stansted is Echo Golf Sierra Sierra, but what is the 3-letter IATA airport code for the airport? Deeper Dolphin's house is on the charts here somewhere as well, very nice. Tracy saying, looking forward to taking it out for a spin, the 737. If you're watching us later on, watching the tutorials for the 737 later, so I can get to grips with the 737 she bought this morning when she gets home. Epic, very exciting. You'll absolutely love it. Definitely go and download our tutorials, the tutorials on YouTube. Have a little look at those, but download the checklists that I've designed and put onto flightsim.to for free as well, Tracy, and that will help you get started as well. They're free to download. Where are we? We're in the charts, aren't we? So from Abbott then we've got a couple of options, but because we're expecting ILS 22, from Abbott, we're going to flick to the next chart, which is initial approach from Abbott, 22. There we are. So there's Abbott there. And it reckons we've got to go from 8,000 to 4,000. So this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because potentially we're going to have to then turn 265 degrees back outbound and fly this hold, so to speak, to 8,000, then continue back in 265 degrees down to 6,000, 22 DME from is it BKY Barkway VOR, there it is, sit 11625, then Abbott down to 4,000 at 16.5 DME Barkway, and then into 222 degrees, 2,500 feet for the ILS approach. Cat 2 or 3 would be that chart there that we've just flicked across. David, hello. Good morning. Quite a short approach actually here, so establishing at about 6 miles at 2,500 feet, so we're going to be quite busy on this arrival. Cat 2 ILS rad out 101 for the minimums. If we stick to just a standard sort of Cat 1 ILS, so to speak, where we'll hand fly most of it on the way in, then we can set the decision altitude to 548. I might set that, so, and then we'll hand fly the approach. Climb straight ahead to not above 3,000 feet for the missed approach at 3.1 DME ISX. Turn right on a radial 172, inbound to 8 DME Barkway. Continue climb as necessary to the VOR at 3,000 feet or as directed, and then if you chart that, it looks like the dashed line there for the missed approach. As always though, don't just think about landing, you've got to think about vacating and where you might be going afterwards as well. So heading in on 2-2, definitely the most scenic of the options here, because we'll have the airport all in front of us on the left as we commit to our approach. Touching down around Quebec 3, that kind of intersection there, that's roughly where the touchdown zone is. Mark Frau, welcome on board, thanks for subscribing. And then touching down, decelerating to vacate maybe Lima Romeo for that high speed exit. Bringing the speed right off for a tight turn back on Lima. Heading up towards the apron to park. We're expecting gate 51 left, but it depends where ATC tell us to park when we get there. Josh, I'm not sure actually. I think the F28 is going to be a separate package, to be honest, buddy. Not 100% certain. I'll know more hopefully in the next week or two. We don't need Stansted anymore. That's going to be the next most pertinent chart for us. So we'll get it up ready. We've got somebody allegedly on side at the same altitude, but I cannot see them. Ah, there they are, just behind the wingtip. iFly says Stansted says local airports are really excited to see this scenery. Steve saying your tutorials for the 737 and checklists are a lifesaver. Good to hear. D-Pod. Looking for some Rishi Force 1 321 Neo International Ops out of Stansted. Yeah, I think the Fokker F28 is going to be the original, the initial package release. Then the Fokker 70 and 100 will be like an expansion, I think. Nox Gaming there saying that the Fokker 70 and 100 variants are coming later. Departure arrivals tab. Stansted arrivals, ILS 22 via Abbott, BARMI 2 Alpha. Let's see if what we've just looked at on the charts translates to what we have on the aeroplane's nav display. So we're going to plan mode. We'll bring the range ring down a little bit. 20 miles should be sufficient. And then on the legs page, we can click step. Warnings of no descent path after Abbott. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. BARMI, Megel, Ditob, Lapra, Abbott. There we go. With a mandatory hold. Flight level 80. And then Barkway 17, flight level 62. Which isn't going to be correct because that actually has to be 4,000. which is going to be an absolute bugger for us. Which is why that hold is there, because you can't go from 8,000 feet to 4,000 feet in 3 miles. No descent path after Abbott for a warning. And the descent forecast as well, we've pretty much got that set, but we need to add in, was it flight level 75, wasn't it, for the transition altitude? We'll add that in like so, and QNH 1012 for the local QNH at Stansted. It shouldn't really change, but if it does, it'll only be a minor change. We can always revise that if we need to later on. We've still got a little while yet to top a descent, so we'll just relax for a bit more. Sam, what's the date for it? Because I might be on holiday, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping I can do the the eastbound. Josh asking, is Mini FCU compatible with the Fenix? It is now, yes. They released like a PR thing last week saying that it's going to be compatible with Fenix now, which is really good to hear. On its release, of course. Hayden, been with us for 22 months. Thanks for the ongoing support. Almost 2 years. I haven't purchased Mini FCU myself. Kind of holding off a little bit. Night Shadow, so I think there is one, isn't there? It's very expensive though. I can't remember who's created it. I was just trying to Google it to work it all out. Yeah, Mr. Masterno there saying with the Honeycomb Bravo you already have autopilot buttons, so that's going to be good. Mini FCU is also going to work with Mobi Flight, so you can code it to work with any plane if you use that. That's really good to know as well. It gives you that flexibility and compatibility with other aircraft using Mobi Flight. Jack, just give us a summary of some of the opinions you've seen on it, because it looks pretty good. I can't really say much more than that. You take the inference as you wish. The Virgin livery looks really good. Rab saying in the longitude it's so easy to import Simbury flight plans now in that jet, and they seem to work flawlessly. That's good to know. You're loving the longitude, aren't you? You're always in that. I know, Ian. What has my life become? It's the only time I'll ever be on a Ryanair aeroplane, that's for sure. Virtually. It will be beyond flubber wire level. It's going to be kind of on a par with Ian, good afternoon. It's going to be on a par with the Aerosoft CRJ level of fidelity, I think, which is going to be pretty good. Yeah, that works quite nicely. David's saying there that rarely ever gets updated. In fact, I can't remember the last time it was updated, but Aerosoft aircraft tend to not really need regular updates. I think like sounds and things like that, that's all working away. Still in progress within the beta. Lupson, top sky, you are. By activity though, that is. Yeah, you know what, David? I've come up to a thing. Come up to a kind of a conclusion that the Twin Otter, I think, is going to be released in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. But then, in a way, why remove it from MSFS? Maybe Asobo have actually bought the product off Aerosoft entirely and have said, this is ours now, you have to withdraw it from everybody. Well, I think we're going to see, within Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, I think we're going to see the Twin Otter and the Aerosoft A330-900 Neo, or the A330 Neo, whenever they release that. I think they're going to be inside MSFS 2024, at a guess. Yeah, I agree, Andy. Mixed opinions on an unreleased aircraft are just mixed conjecture, purely based on no facts. Absolutely. Until it's released, nobody actually knows. Until it's in the sim and people can see it and hear it and kind of use it, it's just all guesswork, isn't it? It's just estimations and guessing. I don't know. Some of you might be in the beta. Cockpit Master 737 CDU, that's the one. Yeah, so that's kind of like the Boeing version of Mini FCU for the Airbus, isn't it? Jack's asking, what do you think to Beyond ATC if you have seen it, of course? I'm curious. I'm curious. I noticed a few things. In fact, we can watch the... Should we watch the Beyond ATC video? So it's a new product, apparently, that's coming out for the sim. And it's supposedly a new ultra-realistic AI ATC for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, let's pause the music. We'll have a little look, because I've watched it a few times, and I do have some thoughts. Some observations, in fact. Is that the one I need? There it is. Okay. Let's have a listen.
Does your air traffic control ever do this to you?
Turn left, descend, into, mountain.
How about this?
United 601, contact Oakland Center 122.5, contact Seattle Center, contact Oakland, Oakland, Seattle, Oakland.
Does your ATC sound like robots?
Windcom cleared for takeout, runway 24 left.
Introducing Beyond ATC.
United 259er, cleared to Austin Bergstrom International. Dots 2 departure, CNary transition.
Listen to his responses.
Climb via SID, except maintain 15,000. Departure frequency 124.3. That's 24.3. Squawk 3427.
London Control, good morning. Easy 88901, 3000 for 4000.
Easy 88901.
Could you imagine speaking that slowly?
Good morning to you as well. Radar contact. Turn left heading 090. Climb and maintain flight level 060.
B-Bird 581, backtrack runway 27. Call when ready for departure.
Here we go.
Backtrack runway 27, call when ready.
Who speaks that slowly? Backtrack 27, call ready. Ryanair 326 Golf. I think it won't pick up that speed.
Departure 121.935, Qantas 359 for pass. Good day. Contact San Francisco Tower 120.5, Avianca 198, take care.
It's supposedly going to work with FSLTL as well, and Just Flight's AI as well.
Southwest 5121, just got the switch. ILS 19er left.
Southwest 5121, San Francisco Tower, wind 180 at 2.
How long he's landing down the runway, my goodness.
Allegiant 68, requesting takeoff.
Allegiant 68, you don't have a flight plan filed and you're still at the gate. Why are you requesting departure clearance? Do you want a pilot deviation? Allegiant 68, I have a phone number for you to contact. Advise ready to copy.
I don't know.
Beyond ATC, we won't fly you into mountains.
I think it's got a lot of promise. I think maybe it's going to be one of those products that if you don't use VATSIM, for example, when you use the offline ATC, the AI generated stuff, I think that is where it would come into its own and it'd be quite a useful bit of kit. But the biggest takeaway I took from that is the controller saying, I don't know, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf via Mike 1, line up and wait, runway 32. It was Ryanair 32 Victor Golf via Victor 2, line up and wait, runway 32. Really slow, and then his response back was just as robotic. And that for me is kind of what ruins it a little bit, because a lot of people who are using ATC, I mean, I suppose if you're using that product, maybe you're going to be nice and slow with it. Instead, you're going to be getting used to the ATC of it all, I think. Using real-world terms and words and sentences and phraseology. So maybe that's a great training device for VATSIM. I think those of us who are comfortable with VATSIM already, we don't need anything like that. I don't think it's a product that I'm going to necessarily enjoy or find a use of. It's going to be very slow by the sounds of it. I can imagine it, you know, if you responded back line up and wait 22 as quick as that, line up and wait runway 22 Ryanair 32 Victor Golf, I would imagine that, I don't know, would it bounce back? Who knows? I mean, I'm only guessing, of course, because we haven't tried the product itself, just based on that trailer that we've watched, that advert from them. Shaz, no, nothing really mentioned yet. Ian's planning a new computer rig, similar to mine. Do I wait to see what the spec requirements are for Flight Sim 2024? Good question. Very good question. I think they've updated the FAQs on the forums since FS Expo, actually. And they've said that they are looking to keep the minimum spec and the recommended spec exactly the same as MSFS 2020 by the sounds of it. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to hear what people think of that Beyond ATC when it does get released. Whether you have to reply slowly, otherwise it breaks, or whether or not it will still pick it up nicely. Everybody has their own accent, everybody has their own pace of response and ability to kind of take the information and throw it back. And a product like that is going to be really good as a training device for getting people started on VATSIM, for example, where you will then be able to immerse yourself in the world of VATSIM properly, having trained on Beyond ATC. That might be a really good step up. So you know, starting from nothing, going into voice ATC AI clients like Beyond ATC for a little while, do a bit of training, and then move into VATSIM. But I appreciate it's going to be a payware add-on, isn't it? So do people want to spend money on a training platform to then get into VATSIM for free? Maybe not. But the big question is, as Andy has said there, it should be okay, providing it lets you train it to your speed and accent as well. If it can do that, I think it'll be quite good and quite useful. If it can't, I think it'll be, if everyone has to respond in a robotic and slow way back for it to kind of get the triggers, it might be a little bit rubbish. I think the product announcement trailer would have been better if the responses back from the person as the pilot seemed a bit more natural and flowed a bit better. Scandinavian captain. So that website is ran by Russians, and it is all about ripping and conning developers out of their hard work. by basically stealing their work and packaging it as rips. So it's a pretty disgraceful website to use, to be honest. So if you're new to Flight Sim, don't use it. Do the right thing and actually, I mean, there's lots of freeware that you can download from flightsim.to anyway, but things like payware, just buy it. Just buy it. Some of it's only like £5 here, £5 there, and that helps developers continue to develop and create products for the flight sim world. Exactly, Ian. Yeah, Tarbab. That's the word, not piracy. Sam says, what's your ETA to Lonham? Think we got a different route, but we'll meet at Lonham. So if you're flying along, folks, always check Discord. Go to the live stream tab. You will see our route that we're using in that section of our Discord server, so that we don't have lots of different routes being used and converging all on the same point together. Where is Lonham? Lonham? No, I don't have Lonham at all. Yeah, SimBrief give you they will give you a different route. Airport elevation. We need to know that. At Stansted as well, it's 350 feet if we round it up, so we might as well... Ooh, let's turn the wing anti-ice off, I forgot about that. We'll swizzle the landing elevation to 350 now. Oh, you know what? I've left the passengers strapped in as well. This is a proper Ryanair flight. You may not leave your seats. You haven't paid enough. Yeah, I think that's probably the route that you've got there actually, Rab. Same as Sam. I think I've come to the conclusion as well that I'm going to sell my Bose aviation headset. It cost me £1,000 to purchase it, and I used it twice before they added 50 quid to the price of flying training every hour, and then I was like, you know what, I can't do that. So I don't really have a use for it. Oh, Ian, that's not good. Yeah, it's a proper aviation headset, Scandinavian Captain though. It's this Bose, is it the Bose A1 aviation headset with Bluetooth? It's a cracking headset, to be honest. Could you not connect it to the sim, Luke Rab's saying? I could, but then I might die inside every time I actually use it in the sim when I could. I'd be like, why can't I use it for real? I just want to use it again. Every time I look at it, it breaks me ever so slightly. I still need to work out what to do with my copy of Flight Sim 2000 that I've got, and the Concorde VHS that I found the other week, clearing out my mum's house. I've got a Concorde poster as well. Need to work out what to do with all those. And I've also got, from I spoke about it in our club lounge the other day, I've also got a genuine turn and slip indicator from a Jaguar GR1 aircraft from when it retired years ago from the Royal Air Force. How cool is that? And I don't know what to do with that either. I'm tempted to sell that as well. I've also got a Rolls-Royce 1904 to 2004, a Century of Innovation book. I've got two of those. I'm looking at maybe doing one of those in a giveaway. Hello Cythera, welcome. Been with us for 25 months. Epic. G saying, do you think the Fenix will ever go on sale? Probably not, no. I can't see it will actually, to be honest. Coin slots for seat releases. Bose A20, that's the one. Doc says tomorrow we've got a POG Helsinki real-time event. I saw. What day is it today? It's the 30th, isn't it? So yeah, tomorrow brings us into July. There's also tomorrow at 10 Zulu, Welcome Back Kai Tak as an event. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, that's June, isn't it? Whoops. There's quite a few events on tomorrow, actually. Ian says, how was the Arlanda scenery? I was a little bit underwhelmed, to be honest. Yeah. I found the textures they're actually quite low resolution, to be fair. Like Gothenburg as well, a little bit underwhelming. In all likelihood, that's probably why it seemed that I was the only content creator not to receive a free, like a preview copy or a press copy of it. Because I'd only heard good things about it. I'd not heard anybody discuss the low resolution textures or anything like that. So did others gloss over it? I'm not sure. I hadn't really seen any of the content properly until today. But it all seemingly was very positive. But yeah, some of the textures are really low resolution. I put one of them as a screenshot into the crew room chat in Discord before the stream started, so you'll be able to have a little look at that. Yeah, and I took a bit of a good tour around as well, Andy. It says there, took a wrong turn. I think so, Dan. I think so. I don't know. Underwhelming is probably how I'd describe it. The textures were quite disappointing. But on the flip side of that, though, in fairness, the jetties are animated, even though they're not as animated as I would have hoped. And sitting on the apron, looking around, it had that feel of it being alive, because there are a lot of ground vehicles all moving around doing the real stuff, which is quite good. It's a bit of a 50-50 one, really. I kind of sat on the fence with it, not really sure how to feel with it. Underwhelming being the key word, I think. But there were some nice things to it as well. I mean, you guys will be able to be the bellwether of it, in effect. Those of you who saw the start of the stream at the Stockholm scenery, the Arlanda scenery, when we get to Stansted, you'll have a look at that, and it'll be interesting to see what that looks like in comparison. So we'll have a look around and maybe compare the texture work as well. Yeah, that's a good point. So we did say before Pushback, I think maybe the scenery will come into its own in winter. I did say that as we were pushing back, because as Christopher's pointed out there are snow piles and ploughs in the winter and things like that, which are quite what's the word? It gives the airport character, doesn't it? It gives the add-on character and a little bit of true to life kind of feel and ops. And I think that's where it will come into its own. Cornell, welcome. Josh asking, do we plan to do a long haul stream when the A330 comes out? Maybe not long haul. I don't think they really ever achieve very much unless it's part of Across the Pond. I think for streams it's hard work, kind of sitting around for 8 hours when it's not an event. Especially, I mean, on my analytics here, the average view duration of today's stream, for example, is 11 minutes. So to then have to do sort of 8 to 10 hours, knowing that most of you might hang around for 5 to 10 minutes and then drop off and come back later for a few minutes and drop off, hard to justify. Across the pond, that's kind of where maybe I'll set an exception for long haul and say, you know what, across the pond, definitely worth it, because you're flying as part of a bigger event. So even if you guys want to dip in and out of the streams, there's still lots for me to get on with and do within the flight itself anyway, to keep myself busy. But yeah, otherwise long hauls can be a little bit boring, aren't they? Effectively, very little to do. In real life, crew will go off on relief periods for 3, 4, 5 hours of kip and rotate. But we'll be doing some medium haul in the A330 and some short haul in it as well. Dark Fury's asking, what do you think of GSX adding passengers? This is something that's come about over the last few days in an announcement from the updates from the forum, I think, isn't it? FS Dream Team forum. Let's have a little look. That's not the one I want. Can't really see. I can't find the announcement now. The FS Dream Team forum is not very user friendly, to be honest. But yeah, they've come out and said that they're going to be working on basically like cabin passengers. So the passengers that you see on GSX that are boarding the aeroplane will then kind of be seated in the plane when you're in flight as well, which I think is quite cool. You'll have to have QATL running throughout the flight, of course, which I do most of the time. It doesn't seem to have any issues either, to be fair, which is quite good. My biggest hope is it's not going to have a massive impact on performance, perhaps. 5-ish hours, Sam, that's about medium haul, isn't it? By real world kind of standards. 5 to 6 hours. But I'm hoping performance will be fine. It will be nice though, as Nox is saying though, having those more immersive features. So the aircraft where you can open the cabin door, you'll be able to flick that open, or even in this instance you can pop through, and imagine then popping in here and seeing loads of people sat in your cabin. Just gives you a little bit more of an immersion and a nice immersive feel to the aircraft, isn't it, then, as you're flying along. I think that's quite important within Flight Sim, and it'll be a nice feature when it does come out. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. GSX has been really good. It's progressed nicely and at a good rate as well since its kind of conception on Microsoft Flight Simulator. He's ready to Turkish with Turkish Airways. Badger suggesting there. Could be a good shout. Iberia. A330 ops to Heathrow from Madrid. Yeah, the BUKUT F28 from Just Flight, I think, is going to be an interesting one to have a look at, isn't it? Because as Nox saying there, they put a lot of focus in the cabin, and it'll be interesting to see what they pull off with it and how it all kind of performs, what it looks like. What I love from the F28 previews, they had the little, that little kind of preview video, didn't they, where you could go to the cabin phone and you could press it to activate the call. The crew call noise and things like that. That's a nice little immersive feature. So something that I think is quite unique to Flight Sim in their product. and I'm looking forward to kind of exploring that a little bit as well and seeing what they've done with it all. Clipper, hello. Yeah, the dog's recovering really well, thanks. Hence the earlier stream time today, because his next meds are due precisely 3:30, so I've got to make sure that he's ready for that, basically, and doesn't miss or have a late dose. He's on loads of pills a day, bless him. Painkillers, anti-inflammatories, antibiotics, and also kind of sedative pills, because otherwise he's a working breed. He's going to want to go and dive around and grab a toy and run about, and that can cause acute surgical failure. So that but basically means that he rests up a little bit. So, oh no, he doesn't want them, Rab. He's pretty clever with it all as well. Even today, I wrapped it up in a little bit of tasty ham for him. But he knows. So what you have to do is you have to take some wet food, and you have to kind of put the pill into it, particularly the antibiotics, because he can smell them a mile off. He knows. So he will just spit it all out and refuse it. So you have to take some wet food, and you have to then kind of, like Quinel's. When it kind of took me back to British Airways first class training, actually, when I was in cabin crew. I had to take 2 spoons and form Quinel's with the wet food, with the pill in the middle inside of it, so he doesn't know and he can't smell it, and the smell's totally masked. And then as he's kind of going, ooh, that smells very nice, tasty, tasty, and opens his mouth, you have to flick it into his mouth, and then he just swallows it, and then it's gone. He has no idea. That's the only way to do it. The other day it took me 30 minutes to give him 4 pills. I was getting so frustrated. I think I lost another millimetre of hair from my hairline. But human, you can say you have to have this because it will make you feel well, or it will prevent you getting an infection, prevent you feeling pain, that sort of thing. But Loki's worked out through lots of medication throughout his life, with his hips and things. He's worked out now that pills don't taste very nice, so therefore he spits it all out. He's a sassy boy. ATC's gone. Of course they are. Boo. Loki's going to be 8 in September, Sam. Yeah. And now I've said his name, I better check on dog cam downstairs to see what he's doing. He's just lying on his bed, itching his chin with his cone on. The cone of shame. Although if he tries to get up now, he's decided to lie on his bad hip. Which is annoying. So if he now I've got an element of paranoia, because if he gets up, I don't think I can take the dog cam off. If he gets up, I'm going to have to run down and help him up. For God's sake. Bloody dog. Honestly, I've never felt so tired since the last time he had a hip replaced. He had his first bionic hip put in at 1. That's the one that failed. The second bionic hip, which hasn't failed, that's still okay. That went in at about 1.5 for him. So he's had him in for a few years now. They're supposed to have lasted his entire life. There's the giveaway question again. What is the the ICAO code for London Stansted is EGSS, but what is the 3-letter IATA airport code for the airport? And yeah, we've got 1 copy of the new iniBuilds Stansted to give away today. Like I think every other content creator has been given the same as well, courtesy of iniBuilds. Really generous, giving loads of us the ability to provide you guys in the community watching across various channels the opportunity to win a copy of this really nice new scenery from them. As with usual, as it's mentioned in the live stream description, the terms and conditions are down there in the link. You've got to have an iniBuilds account set up, and I'll need the email for that if you are drawn as a winner effectively, because it will then allow me to tell iniBuilds who's won, and they will then put the copy on your account for you for free. And yeah, of course, Sam, absolutely. We'll be having a good old explore of the scenery when we get there. We're making some good progress, to be fair. We've got a 43 knot crosswind though, slowing us down a little bit. Do. But beagles are typically stubborn dogs, but also once they get a scent, that's it, they're gone. Proper gun dog. I used to, Robert. Years ago, I was cabin crew. Mark's asking if I caved in and bought an Alpha yet. Not yet. I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted. But there's a little bit of me. From feedback from you guys actually chatting about it the other day when I bought the Bravo, a lot of you guys were saying, you know what, hold off the Alpha and buy the Thrustmaster Boeing yoke because it has that pendulum system in it. And apparently that is the better way to go. Have a honeycomb Bravo with the Thrustmaster Boeing yoke. Sky Blue Flyers asking when will Stansted go on sale? Hopefully, well, today apparently. It was updated this morning. That's the one that we've got for today's little preview. We are expecting it to release imminently though. And I assume that this latest version that we've been discussing today and that we're going to see when we arrive is going to be the release version as well. So they've done a lot of tweaking. The configurator's available now inside the iniManager, which allows you to toggle things based upon your your system spec and things like that as well. Rox, hello and welcome, joining us as a gold frequent flyer now. Thank you very much for the support. Great to have you on board with us. Make sure you link your YouTube account into your Discord user settings, Rox, and it'll get you into the club lounge. Welcome on board. Yeah, it's big money, Sam, isn't it? 350 to 400 pounds, isn't it, roughly, for that Boeing TCA? And that is a lot of money. When you can get on sale in the UK, at least for those of you in the UK, via Currys, you can get the Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo, both for £300 in total. Because they both have £100 off at the moment. £149 each. Christopher saying in his sort of preferencing, he prefers his controllers to be more agnostic. Having a pendulum yoke and then flying something faster doesn't really work, but a stick works for both. Yeah, I mean the pendular design is pretty cool, isn't it, in itself? I just don't think I can justify the price. That's a whole lot of money, isn't it, for a yoke? When the Alpha is £149 with next day delivery via Currys. You kind of balance the two and you think, you know what, I think I can just enjoy the Honeycomb Alpha. But the Pro is coming soon. Satric saying I'll be happy to see the Mad Dog on sale. I don't think that's going to be on sale anytime soon. I think it'll ever be on sale, in fact, to be honest. I'll be surprised if it does. Living on a Player says I can't say anything bad about his Thrustmaster Boeing yoke. Really happy with that investment. Commentator as well saying about the cost. Would like the Boeing TCA but hard to justify the price tag for me. Would rather spend it on PC upgrades. Zato, hello to you. Welcome. $20 miles to top descent. Should probably do some landing calculations. Runway 22. Rough landing weight of 62.4 tons. QNH 1012. Mean winds 220 at 16. Flap 30 for the arrival. And we're going to use both reversers. Auto brake 2 will be fine. Let's set that. And we need to set minimums and things as well. My goodness. So we'll set 6,000 on the MCP because I think we're going to be reaching top of descent by the time we finish fiddling around with things in the FMS. So set 6,000, LNAV and VNAV. VNAV will take us down when we hit 6,000s. Auto brake set, landing pressure panel set 350. And down here we've got the arrival input as well, ready to go and briefed. And we've tweaked some of the data as well, like Barkway 17 at 4,000. Good. Descent forecast is done and set. QNH 1012 is set. We need to put in our ILS frequencies. So 110.5. Oh look, that's already ready. Happy days. And we want Barkway 11625, which we'll put into the active box for now. 11625, like so. 110.5. Epic. 222 for the inbound course. For both nav 1 and 2 set. And then in here we're going to put our weight calculation, 62.4. Might do 62.3 actually. Lap 30. And we got the data there for the runway as well in, so we can see 3,049 meters, ILS 22, frequency 110.5, course 222 degrees, glide slopes marked on and green there as well. Fixed rings. We can do runway 22. And we want 6 miles, because that's where the glide slope's going to be. We want to be at 2,500 feet by then. Then we'll have 4 miles, at 160 till 4. As we cross that, we will make sure that we are reducing to final approach speed there. And then we need to do Bandit Flight Simmer, hello. Is the Dreamliner almost study level, Jack Stones is asking. Not sure, to be honest. I haven't tried it yet. And we go VNAV path. I think it's made good progress. I think that's maybe where it's going to be good. Why'd you have to put the nav numbers on both sides, Gary's asking. So it's going to be course, right? Course 1 and course 2. And it's because, well, I've spoke about it in our PMDG ILS tutorial. Effectively, the aeroplane needs to see the ILS frequency in both nav 1 and 2, and the course to match in course 1 and course 2 in order to fly the ILS properly. Yeah, Jack Stones, if you've got Premium Deluxe edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Dreamliner is free, so just give it a go. Andy's saying, did Loki get sorted by Professor Fitzpatrick? So yeah, years ago. He botched the first implant, which is why it's failed now, and we've had to go somewhere else for a new hip, because he basically, from a lot of research that we've done and a lot of people we've spoken to, he should have never have put in the implant that he put in the first time around. It was always going to fail. It was for a dog 10 to 20 kilos too a lot lighter than he is at a 40 kilo German Shepherd. Always moving. Oh good, he's got himself up. He's all good, watching on dog cam. Just fidgeting and getting himself comfy again. But yeah, I'd never go back to him. I've heard a lot of other things since, in fact, about Mr. Fitzpatrick. He's all about numbers and looking good for the cameras and Instagram and everything else. So it'll be like, wow, look, this dog came in for spinal surgery and he's already going home 3 days later. Yet, in all likelihood, what tends to happen with him is 3 to 4 years later the dog ends up put down because what he's done has failed. So yeah, I ended up kind of believing a lot on because of what I saw on TV. All a little bit of a lie, but yeah, you only see the good outcomes. They wanted to see our dog again because we complained to them, and we put a lot of surgical opinion into the complaint as well. To say these have all said X, Y, and Z should never have happened, should never have failed, all the rest of it. And they've said, well, we're very keen to look at him and have a little look and assess him, but we don't want him to go anywhere near them anymore. Don't trust them. Because, I mean, this surgery now, the invoice has gone from 5 grand, which is what it should have been, to near 10 grand. Which is pretty horrendous. And I'm not giving them a penny more, Fitzpatrick's, for what they've done. Exactly, commentator. You know, ultimately he's our little boy, effectively, isn't he? Night Shadow's asking, when do you normally put in fixed rings? Wherever you want, really. You can put them in for anything. You can put an extended centerline in if you want to as well. I tend to put in maybe 8 miles and 4 miles, because at 8 miles you want to be 180 knots until 8 miles, and then 160 till 4. That's kind of the average, the mean, but it depends on what approaches you're doing as well and what you want to achieve out of your flights. You could put fixed rings in for departures as well if you want to, and certainly that could be really useful for certain departures that might have a lot of manual flight involved, or departures on heading modes. If you're flying circling approaches, circle to lands, fixed rings can be really useful there as well, as can be the extended centerline feature. QRHs, yeah, I've always got one of those ready. Certainly when I'm flying the 737, the PMDG aircraft, I've always got a QRH ready to go. You never know in this if and when you might get a little failure. Oh, absolutely, Mark. Yeah. QRHs are for problem solving, that's what I'm going to say. Jack Stones, DirectX 12 for me with the 4000 series GPU. That's set. Oh, we need to do, yeah, we've done weights, 145 VREF, we're going to do flap 30, and then we're going to be on to the arrivals. So I'm going to go Cat 1 ILS because I want to hand fly the last little bit in ourselves. 548 for the Barrow. Set. Rox had a German Shepherd when she was young, that's why I love the Loki Cup I'll be getting. Can't wait. Epic. Hopefully it won't be taking too long. Mine was delivered within 5 days, but then I'm in the UK. I think if you're in the US you get it just as quick, if not a little bit quicker. Andy says, I see where you are with your boy. We don't have kids ourselves, have a procession of cats and dogs though over the years. Wouldn't have it any other way. They could be money pits, but give back as much in loyalty and love as well, yeah, don't forget. They also keep you sane, I think, certainly dogs. They do a lot for your mental health, I think, more so than people appreciate. You know, awful day at work, for example, and yeah, I'm in a world where I deal with a lot of horrendously traumatic stuff as well, and sometimes you come home and you've had a horrendous day, but your dog is always excited to see you, and immediately you forget about the stuff at work. Your dog's wagging his tail, going absolutely bolo, super happy to see you. You know, that makes it work. That in itself speaks volumes. That is what a dog does for you. Completely lifts your negative thoughts. I like to say that the in a way they kind of absorb the upset, the bad stuff going on. They kind of absorb all of that emotion off you. They're, you know, incredibly special animals, dogs. Certainly the bond you end up with them anyway. Exactly, Clipper. Well into descent now. I'll see if we got a descent announcement for Ryanair or maybe American Airlines. We'll find out. Yeah. It's an American announcement. Oh dear. Martin, that's pretty cool. Every office should have a dog. Rav says almost in the hold at Abbott. So this is what we're going to be doing then. We're going to fly down to Abbott for 8,000. Was it 8,000? I think it was. Better set 8,000 then. From there, we're going to enter the hold as we discussed a moment ago for the initial approach via Abbott, as per the charts. Why isn't it letting me scrolly? There it is. All of a sudden, it's not letting me scroll around on my charts. I don't know why. Super weird. But yeah, we're going to enter 265, then we're going to turn back out on ourselves, 085 degrees, down to flight level 8, at flight level 80 to 2060 ME, and then from there, at 2060 ME Barkway, we'll turn back, right turn 265 degrees, to head down to 6,000 feet, then 4,000 feet, and then 2,500 feet for the approach. We could step down earlier, so at 26 miles inbound Abbott, we could just step straight down to 6,000 to 22.5 DME, which I'm tempted to do actually, because that would be no different to getting vectors via ATC. It will all depend on how we work the arrival. Yeah, I mean that's the bit I'm worried about, Rab. I might need a bit of time off work when that happens. How are we doing on the outside? Looking good. Badges in the holds. Dan got his senior dog from the shelter 2.5 years ago, spent about €2,000 in medical bills, but he loves her so much and it's incredibly stressful when she has medical issues. It is, yeah, you can't kind of explain it to them, can you? But you can't kind of take their pain away that easily either. And they can't explain to you what they are feeling, they just kind of swallow it up for you. I mean, ultimately, Christopher is still talking about failures and what makes it an aircraft study level and what isn't. 99% of flights, you're not going to have to deal with a failure. So for me, I'm not bothered if there's failures integrated or not. Aircraft like this, where you've got service-based failures, I think that is the best way to do it, because they're kind of sitting away, burning away at the background until something might go wrong, and that's where the QRH comes in really handy, because then you have to troubleshoot, fact find, work it out how to manage those failures. But most routine flights, that's never going to really happen, do they? That's the thing. Most of them, touch wood, are uneventful. So Aerosoft have gone down the route of not needing emergencies because most flights don't have emergencies. I mean, a lot of emergencies in flight nowadays, more so than mechanical, are actually medical. Probably 60% medical, 40% mechanical issues. Who knows? Well, I haven't actually seen statistics, but working at Heathrow, most of the things that I deal with tend to be medical related, not mechanical related. Dave Cat says, do a stream with failures in the 146. That would be challenging. I don't think we'd survive it. I don't think we'd survive it. That could be one tricky beast at times. Great fun, that aeroplane. So we've got no ATC on. So there's Abbott. What do we reckon? Quick opinion in the live chat. Do you reckon we should just go direct through Abbott down to 6,000 and then in? Or should we enter the hold and fly a circuit to descend from 8,000 to 6,000? Yeah, very true. Yeah. Suppose we can do it, Ashley. In a way, we've already done one. Matthew says surrender it. Dan says send it. Graham says direct as well. I'll go with that. It's no different to being vectored, is it? Abbott 6,000. So we want 4,000 then, really. Vertical speed mode. Let's drop the speed off. We'll go for 1,800 foot per minute. Barkway 17 at 4,000. That'll do us. Got a decel point coming up. And into some pea soup. Dan, epic. Very generous of you, thank you very much. It's gifted a channel membership. Joey Goofy, welcome. You've got a month as a channel member courtesy of Dan86. You know what, we should probably turn the seatbelt signs on again. Could hear somebody's clicky knees downstairs again. Oh no, he's all still snug, bless him. I was tempted to do a roll, Steve. In fact, we discussed that as well, actually, didn't we, on the day? Doing a big old barrel roll to see if we could tip the wheels back in. I'm glad I didn't, just like we're watching on that day. Not every stream goes as smoothly as it should. So how are we doing with cabin pressure? That's coming down nicely. Let's flick that across. We'll have nav 2 onto... Where the bloody hell is he gone? Can't sure if I can see him now. How has he escaped the camera? Good morning, Aiden. Brock says the A2A Comanche looks interesting because you have to look after it to keep it airborne. Spoilers. Let's bring that rate of descent off as well. We'll go direct. Sam, yeah, it did. Looks really good, doesn't it? Hopefully, Doggy CJ today. We'll let that speed go right down to 210 now. Yeah, it seems a bit of it was interesting to watch, Sam, but it was a little bit just seems pointless, doesn't it? Like rich man's vanity project. Tried the tri-motor yet? Steve's asking. No, I haven't actually. I haven't bothered downloading it. I think it's something that I would download, maybe fly once, and then that would be it. So, kind of just ignored. I've kind of just left it in the marketplace, really. Luke says last year, after 20-ish hours flying to the UK, including the direct Perth to London, my BA A320 had a gear door failure and had to return. And delayed for 4 hours. So on the plus side, he got $960 compo. Very nice. 1400. Lovely. So we might have to keep speed brake out. In fact, will we? We'll do 1200 foot per minute. There's the Barkway 17. We don't want to enter the hold, so I'm going to go. It's not going to let me, is it? We'll do that instead. Steep descent after Abbott. That's fine, we've got it. A little bit of stuttering. Grey shirt, just pop it into the live chat, buddy. 8,000. Cabin attend on. So that way we're telling the crew now, get in your seats, strap in. Stansted traffic. Oh crikey. 1012. Stansted traffic, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf 737-800 QNH 1012 inbound Abbott 7,500 feet for 4,000 feet inbound for the ILS runway 22 via Abbott, and we'll report establishing Stansted traffic. Okay, I know what he's done. He's just gone to go and lie on the cool floor near the door. Let's mute that. Here we go. So, our first live look at this morning's, in fact, new preview update for the beta iniBuilds London Stansted. It's releasing today at some point, so we don't know exactly when and what time, but we know from what they've said on their Discord server that it is coming very soon. Speed's down to 216. We'll get rid of the spoilers for now as well. Park brakes off. We'll flick this now to 110.5 on both 1 and 2. That's flicked active, so we've now got the ILS that's been picked up. We can see as well 110.5 inbound course, 18 DME. So, and we're actually below the glide slope too. So we've got a little bit of work to do. We'll allow that speed to keep coming down to 180. It's going to flash A at us, but that's normal. We're going to go to flaps 2. That A should disappear now in a moment. Bring the range rings in. .200 knots will be fine. We can bring that rate of descent down as well. So effectively what we've done is we've skipped the hold that we said that we would be doing, and we're going down 1,000 above. Through Abbott, down to Barkway, 16.5 DME at 4,000, then straight in for the vectors on the ILS approach. John Paul Martinez, welcome aboard, thanks for subscribing. The airport's down there somewhere. $2,500. And we'll bring our speed down to 180 knots now. We'll go for flap 5. So a lot of this now, especially because we're self-vectoring and we've taken a little bit of a shortcut, it is dependent upon us ensuring that we manage our energy of the aeroplane properly to decelerate and descend properly as well, and in good time, because there's the airport. So here we go. What have we got here? So spoilers armed, flaps 10 speeds, extension speeds 210. What are we now? 210. So still a bit above. Want to go? Got an aircraft there on TICAS. Oof. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Stansted traffic, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf, 2,500 feet and establishing ILS 22.
Traffic.
He's not announcing anything. Still not announcing anything.
I'm reducing my speed to allow you to
Wilco, are you already established? If not, I will. I'll do a left-hand orbit.
Negative, you go. You go first. I can see you on my display.
Wilco, thank you. I'll keep my speed up. Currently 180 till 60 ME.
Hey, firm.
A little bit of working out our positions and things there. What do? We do flat.
Back to just
10. Here we go. I'm trying to keep my speed up a little bit. Don't look back, guys. Woo. Right, let's
start the traffic right now. 97 Yankee Delta pushing back.
see if we can help them out here a little bit. Lights, signs, icing's off. Missed approach briefed. Glide slope's alive. .145 for flap 30. So I've actually kept the speed up a little bit longer now, look. 180 knots till about 5 miles. And then we're just going to reduce right down to our final approach speeds. What do we have? 145, 150, add the 10, add the 5. Gear down, flap 15. But we'll keep it going. Straight down to flap 30. Kind of compressed everything a little bit there. Stansted traffic, Ryanair 32 Victor Golf is reducing final approach speed 4 miles ILS 22.
Got the limit is 6 miles.
Laps 30 green, gear down 3 green, auto brake 2, park brakes off, set. Ta-da! Here we go. So, my auto throttle. And my airplane. Slight variable winds, they're kind of gusting up to 20 knots and then dropping off, giving us a little bit of work to do, but we're all good. Focusing on 2 red 2 white, flying it more of a visual approach now rather than an ILS. Conditions are fine for it. Speed's on the little low side, it's more on the VREF at the minute, so just pitching down to allow that speed to come back up. Pitch for speed.
Plus 100. Minimums.
Continue. A little low there, but we're fine.
So, 10 fish off 156, we establish 1 with 22.
30. 20.
Holding the flare.
10.
Set that picture. Down. Little firm. Nose wheels down. And reverse green. Decelerating as well. We'll get that stick forwards. Trying to help this guy out as best as I can through 100 knots.
Okay, there. 2 dealing.
Auto brakes disconnected just before the touchdown zone a little bit there. Ryanair 32 Victor Golf is vacating at Lima Romeo. Early call, so you can decide to land after. There we are. Otherwise, you end up potentially going around.
And I'll 156 is on the 5 mile and 1
Oh, I think we've just had a speed penalty there. Vacating beyond 50 knots. Oh, goodness.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time. We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. Ryanair. Low fares, made simple.
Down already, look at that. My goodness. Right. GSX. We want stand 51 left.
Golf Sierra Lima vacated, runway 22, Stansted.
SS traffic at 156, 2 miles final.
Golf Sierra Lima holding at November Romeo.
You can go ahead if you want. I'll hold position for you, the aircraft on November Romeo.
If we'll do that, Golf Sierra.
So he's vacating the runway, so technically he has right of way. What is that? A little Honda jet?
Stop the traffic, behind the traffic on final lining up.
It's a little bit compressed, that arrival, but because he was right behind us, I'm conscious I didn't want to screw him up too much, so kind of kept the speed up a little bit to the last minute, and then found that we were just kind of kicking out a little bit.
The previous
a little bit of extra speed.
Line up after the landing traffic. Just be aware we are getting quite close because we're on a 9 mile final.
5 miles copied. I'll be off the runway by the time you land.
Yeah, a little private jet.
Roger, thanks.
51 left. Right, where is charts? Ground parking charts for Stansted. Parking stands. So I'm already looking through all of this now. 5-1 left. There it is, Charlie East.
Central traffic off 156, vacated November Romeo.
Ta-da, he's down.
Central traffic, right now.
Harrods cargo over there, look. First glimpse of that.
Look for 1 Romeo departure.
The landing performance add-on is part of GSX Parallel 42's Flow Pro, and it's a landing rate widget from flightsim.to. If you have a little look at my Parallel 42 Flow Pro video that I put live on the channel, I think 2 weeks ago now, roughly, that will have all the links in there as well. I'll talk you through various different add-ons that I use for that. NH1012. Huge comparison to that freeware Stansted that we've been enjoying. Craters all over the place and frankly a freeware scenery that is abandoned and very much a mess, rendering on the verge of unusable. But this new iniBuilds Stansted is night and day by comparison. FedEx Cargo, so we've got a lot to explore when we do park up. We'll just enjoy the taxi in first without chopping around and taking in a lot of the visuals so far. The fire station with its own windsock there as well, showing quite a decent headwind actually for the arrival on 2-2. And what used to be the country's biggest control tower, I think the country's highest control tower or something like that, I think I've read. There's the terminal. I'll spin a right here on Bravo, then left on Charlie, just so we can get a bit of an idea of this a bit more. Rocks! Very generous, thank you very much. Gifting 5 channel memberships out to you guys watching. Graham M, Dave Cat 1458, Sabres 431, Tracy, welcome, and Lefty Lab Circuit Stellar Aviation Attic. Welcome to you guys. You've got a channel membership for a month courtesy of Rocks. Here's the terminals, a little bit closer now. Following the greens. .51 left is over there somewhere. Dragonic, yes, we'll be flying the CRJ at some point in the future, but there's locks to get around to still. That's the only thing. Oh, runway turn off lights. We turn them off. Taxi lights on. Whoops. And we'll do Charlie East. So left, middle and east. West, middle and east. We'll take the east line. Performance quite good, running it on 4K, 60 frames per second, which is what I'm capped at as well at the moment. Those of you who have just been gifted that channel membership as well, make sure that you head over to Discord and add your user account, your YouTube integration to your Discord user settings, and it'll get you access to the club lounge. There's the animated train. Taxi lights off. 51 left, that is the stand. Round we go. It's got a custom GSX profile included in the profile, by the way, folks. Yeah, I don't have black square real taxiways, Brian.
Stand 63 via hotel and Delta.
Little marshaller. Yeah, docking system's not working. Maybe the GSX profile's not quite ready. Or perhaps maybe not for all the stands. Brakes set. Interesting. Let's cut the engines. Menu, FS actions, ground services, chocks. Anti-collision lights off. Parked a bit too far. That's your fault, buddy. You told me to brake when you told me to brake. Request deboarding. Hi Fly, yes, I saw your question. Sorry, I was busy taxiing away and things. Have a look at my recent comms, because I've actually put out that we have that we've started ops from Stansted. That's weird. MSFS version. Your simulator version is ahead of the version Flow was tested on. This may break some of the features. I don't know what that's supposed to have seen that. I don't know what that means. Okay, well, while the punters get off, we will go and have a look at the approach path a little bit more. Brian, yeah, removed my previous Stansted profile.
Passenger's bus is coming.
So, let's quickly go on to New Sky.
Scandinavian 528 indicated the runway 22.
And we'll close to see what we got for the score. 9.8. Ah, we didn't get points deductions for the speed, but slight off-centre line landing with an average touchdown. Little bit firm. But otherwise good. $18,000 profit. So that's one of the new scheduled routes for Osprey that we were testing out. We've got some cargo routes and some other bits as well. Right, let's go and have a look. So, they don't really, the lights don't really come on that much. It's like an MSFS thing, isn't it? They come on in certain areas and certain distances, but oh yeah, the new update, isn't it, for MSFS? This, of course, and the freeware version, this apron here is just packed full of statics. Perhaps is about to try and land the tri-motor. Wish me luck, my goodness. Perhaps they will do a Luton at some point in the future. They seem to be smashing all of Heathrow at the moment. All of London, rather. Heathrow, Gatwick, Origami Studios in partnership with iniBuilds, of course. Now Stansted as well. Little fuel farm and the the old sweepers. Meep meeps.
Scandinavian 528 will be taxiing to the atrium via Hotel Yankee and Juliet.
I'll save the terminal to last. MPS Gaming, good evening. Very good, thank you. Some Cobus buses ready to go as well. Some decent car park texturing as well, actually. This is looking quite nice. Quite incredible kind of meshwork on the edge of the building, the car park there, isn't it? Shaquille, hello buddy. And then up the top, ooh look. Imagine flying from Stansted, but also being able to afford an Aston Martin. That just doesn't add up, does it? I don't know, each to their own. Perhaps he loves Ryanair. These are a little bit meh looking. I'm not sure what they are actually, to be honest. Hotel. Ah, it's the Radisson Blue. Nice reflections though. The texture work is quite nice still. We'll have a look to see what happens with the nighttime effects in a short while. We're going to buzz over the tower because I want to save that and the train station to last. What have we got here to make sure I don't miss anything on the perimeter roads? Yeah, maybe it's old O'Leary. There we are, little glimpse on the outside. Nice interior by the looks of it as well. We will have a look shortly. Powerful reflections on the terminal building. There's some train tracks there as well. We mentioned them a little while ago, didn't we, about the fact the kind of train doesn't seem to go anywhere. You've got the kind of tracks that stop there. control tower, managed by Nats. Nice Nats logo underneath as well there. If there's anything up here though. Ooh, there is. The glass textures are a little bit dark, aren't they? Perhaps they could brighten up, but then maybe is it like that in real life? I'm not sure. Looks nice though. And you can still see stuff from it, look. And we'll have a quick buzz around cargo, up the one-way system, raw mail here. We've got to watch Gavland. I think that's Gav coming in next. Nox Gaming, I'm not sure how much the scenery is going to be priced at, buddy, to be honest. They've not said. Johan, yeah, they're absolutely charging forwards with a lot of sceneries, aren't they? All good quality sceneries as well, and quite big airports too. Here come the water ferries with custom.
Passengers boarding starting.
Sprinkler system trucks, fire trucks, and custom building signs as well. Stansted Airport Fire and Rescue Service labelled there too, which is very nice. Osprey World Cargo, by the looks of it, parked up, delivering some in, as they say in Spain, or gin. And yeah, the FedEx building looks quite good, doesn't it? Look at that. Got a touchdown to watch. Have a good day at work, Andrew. Ground textures here look quite nice as well on the apron. Got 2 on final. Dragonic, yes. I heard about the Aerosoft Frankfurt. Very exciting. It seems like it's a long way off though. That's the only thing.
Aircraft on final, your DME?
Roger, Ryanair 37 Kilo Alpha, short final, 4 miles.
Confirm short final.
Here he comes.
For the lake, I was having issues with the wide flight.
No problem, clarifying for Gallagher, you are now waiting at Sierra 1, Gulf.
Osprey 932, 5 mile final for Stansted.
5 mile? Jesus. It's a bit close. Looks like it's coming to a little bit of a crosswind. Now don't forget as well, he might actually land in a slightly different location because his scenery is likely to be a little different to ours. He might not have, he might have the freeware version instead. Look at that, Bosch, really nice. Firm but accurate, perfect landing. A little zoom off the edge though. That might be where his runway is though, that's the thing, because he's maintaining that straight line look. So that's likely where his runway is actually placed in his scenery. Should we go and have a look at the Jolly Green Giant? The fire training centre. Got a little radar zipping away there as well, really nice animation.
Passengers bus is coming.
And the jet centre as well. Always make me laugh, these kind of aeroplanes, because they're like a bit of everything and anything all wadded into one, aren't they? That go around? It is. Off he goes. That's a very nice looking radome.
That station, is that going around?
Affirm.
Apologies if that was you, man.
Golf Sierra Lima is lining up runway 22.
Little old hardened aircraft shelter there. This is... yes. Is this bit the Arlanda Stansted where they send the jets that have got a problem, quote unquote, / interception?
Ground is now online.
Oh, bloody Stansted ground. Bit late, David, isn't it? Jeez. Alright, Harrods Aviation Terminal. Just my luck. Suspicious stuff, that's probably the best way to mention it. Lovely Harrods terminal there, and in fact they've got those parallax windows where they kind of move for the angle of the camera as we look around. Moody clouds above. I didn't know there was a Harrods aviation arm, to be honest. I suppose it's all their cargo zipping about.
And Osprey 569 Alpha is established in the localizer for runway 22 Stansted.
Golf Sierra Lima vacated runway 22.
Do you want to deboard?
MPS, yes. I was underwhelmed. Scandinavian, no, I haven't yet. What have we got here? Fuel farms, in-flight exec centre, and across. Because I think we've still got a few more landing. We might have to spot them from a distance as we venture further away. Thank you to everybody so far as well, by the way, who's hit the like button. It's great to see almost 100 likes today for our live stream. Who's this flying in? Let's try and work it out. Graham, Osprey 569 Alpha. Last one in, I believe, actually. Yes. Jolly good. Let's see if we can get a good spot. There's actually quite a lot to see, really. Where is he? Just in that bit of cloud there. Here we go. Robert, great to hear, buddy. Thank you very much. Hopefully this will be a nice, smooth landing. Can't believe Grand came online just after we had parked. Oh, the luck. Or the lack of luck, rather. Oh yes, he's in the A320neo, isn't he? Very nice. No Google Maps mod, no Hitesh. I just use Bing only. I don't fiddle around with anything like that, to be honest. That looked very nice. Look at the wavy runway. That's fantastic. You really get an idea of it actually from this view. The way that iniBuilds have kind of created that wonky runway. We've got some wigwags there as well, flashing away. And he's vacating there on the high-speed exit. Cargo and the terminal looking great in the backdrop. Look at that. Lovely custom signs. In fact, they've even put the power cord in. That's really cool. Right, let's go and have a look at the jet center. So when we've had problems previously with default weather, do you remember maybe 6 months ago roughly? Default weather, live weather was causing crash to desktops, wasn't it, for a little while, with some weird server issue feeding in bad data. At that point I purchased Rex Weather and I was using the live weather from that to feed into the sim, and it was very good. But the moment the live weather got fixed again, I stopped using Rex because you don't really need it, to be honest with you. I think the MSFS weather engine is pretty good. It certainly replicates thermals nicely. Turbulence maybe a little bit too violently, but you can turn that down somewhat. Look at this. But it's effectively just a backup. In-flight engineering and Brest Service Center, in-flights. Looking pretty good. This is very nice. Great to see such a big, complex and detailed Stansted. Dave Cat, I'm using the drone camera. See, I've never flown into an outer Stansted except for in the sim. I thought the freeware was pretty good before it started to develop its weird terrain issues that seemingly not everybody experiences. Ryanair, TUI. You've got a couple of cargo aircraft operators as well. If you search on Wikipedia for Stansted, you'll see a whole list of operators. 2 seconds. Come on, ring camera. What's he doing? They're banging. Right. We'll watch that landing. 2 seconds. I need to urgently sort the dog out.
South 15 knots from the start of the island, no making 7 left.
Right, I am back. Whew. I heard a big old bang, and what was it? He was trying to get his water on, bless him, but he had a big dog cone on still, so he couldn't get to his water. quickly ran down and sorted it out before he got a bit creative, so to speak. Here comes a 2E Dreamliner. Draw is coming up very soon. Dave Cat, great to hear, buddy. If you're wondering, yeah, I had to step away very briefly there. Dog's had some major surgery. He's had a hip replaced. And he's downstairs supposedly settling. But this is kind of the most that we've pushed it a little bit. You know, it's a bit of a test today to see if we can run some streams no more than 3 hours where he would just sleep. We're at about 3 hours now, so we're pushing it, and he's due his meds in the next 30 minutes. But otherwise, he's done pretty well, and I think some more streams of a similar length, if not maybe a little bit shorter, will allow me to still give you guys something whilst keeping an eye on him. It's a big old lumpy runway. Very wavy runway, look at that. What else have we got then? So, got a motorway running past the airport. It's an A road actually, I think, isn't it? Dragonic, with that budget, buddy, I would probably recommend... Oh look. What's that meant to be? Dunno. I'd probably recommend just the cheap set of Thrustmaster T-Flight rudder pedals, to be honest with you, buddy. What we got here? This is another jet center, isn't it? Diamond hangar. Aviation excellence. Very posh. And the Ryanair hangar. Hugo says it's an Easter egg. I'm not sure what it's meant to be though. Yeah, if you can save up a little bit more, Dragonic, it might help you afford some better pedals. A little bit of ground clutter there. And let's head to the main terminal. Before we do, I want to change the time to my favourite time of day in MSFS. That kind of fiery sunset, and we can have a little look at the airport's emissives. So over there we've got the Harrods Aviation Terminal. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Look at that illumination. Some of the remote stands for the special suspicious aeroplanes. Yeah, Harrods Aviation Terminal really pops, even from this kind of zoom. Look at that, you can really make it out clearly. Lovely. The executive centre there as well, and we've got the Ryanair hangar and that Diamond service hangar there too. Then we pan around to the main focus for most, the cargo and terminal centre. One on final. Let's go and have a look at the airport textures on the runway as we watch this last pilot land. Hey look, there's another Easter egg. That's so cool. A little nod to COVID. Thank you, NHS. This is why I love the drone camera, because you can kind of get up and away and have a little look above the ground. We taxied over that. I didn't even notice it because we were looking at the other window, the other side of the aeroplane. So we may have not have even noticed it. Those of you not in the UK, the NHS is our health service, if you're wondering. Free for the point of access for everybody. There we go, to watch like a sunset landing. Possibly for the final time, our giveaway question today as well. And he's down. Nice. That sky is insane. We still need to look into the terminal, don't we? Cargo looks exquisite. What do you guys think so far? And is there anywhere you would specifically like to see within the scenery? In the terminal area? Anything like that? A little bit of popping of ground clutter there, but that's fine. It's just an LOD thing. Christopher says MSFS has just decided to delete his default controller setup for the PS4 controller he uses for the drone camera. Every bird is gone. Oof. Yeah, this is a really nice scenery. Radisson Blue off in the background, look, illuminated there, the hotel. I've got a couple of these walking stands.
November, Lima Echo departing all the way to Stansted traffic.
Let's go back to normal time. We'll go through the airport. Lower information time, but that's fine. Doosh. Go back about 10 minutes, Dave. We went through the tower. There were some escalators or some stairs. He's very happy to be at Stansted. Where do these stairs go? To nowhere. Looks pretty nice though. Ashton Anders, welcome. Lots of ground clutter there from Jet 2, similar to real life as well, and some Donata trucks. Ryanair ground handling equipment. And there goes the little tram. Meet me. That's cool. It's actually got an interior by the looks of it as well. So I'm going to position this here. I wonder if you can race it and actually be inside of it for a minute. Where does it go? It goes underneath. My goodness. So where does that actually go in real life? Where does it connect to? I don't know. Oh, there he is. Look at this. Choo choo. Don't know why I did that. I'm not Francis Bourgeois. And here comes another train. We position this like a Mission Impossible scene now, where we position it just perfectly through the windows. Is it the DLR? I don't know what it is. Oh, look at that! They even follow this kind of routing system there. Land Rover Defence. Is that a Disco? Oh, custom ground vehicle. Look at that for airside ops. Let's go inside. That's looking really nice. Building looks really good. Yeah, gates 1 to 39 look for the train. When he drives off. Shuttle. Very cool. Little departure lounge. Actually looks more swish than I thought it would have been for Stansted. It's got a bit of a nickname as the world's most depressing departures lounge. Because it's basically just one massive departures lounge. But I've never been. This actually looks alright for an airport environment. Certainly nicely modelled by iniBuilds. A little bit of a area to go and enjoy and walk around. They've got arrivals modelled in as well. Around the pillar. What have we got here? Welcome to London Stansted. A couple of information about the Stansted Express train service. We'll have a look at that in a moment. We've got the border as well. I think it's the first time I've seen a border modelled in. No queues though. Who's in the red list? Let's go landside. Absim says it's missing them weather spoons. We've got check-in. Bit of Travelex to get your foreign currency.
Stansted traffic Ryanair for X-ray Tango down main terminated.
Various check-in. Hen do. Ryanair customer service. Nobody shouting there, interestingly enough. And security. Cool, landside then. We've got long stay official parking bendy buses as well. Accurate to the airport. Parked up, static though. And as you notice, there's a little bit of a walkway that goes down here towards the Stansted Express platforms. We'll follow this down the little ramp, why not? Very happy to see the trains. So, I mean, this is kind of one of my observations that I mentioned earlier on. It's a lovely platform, really well made. Look at this. Very cool. If we zip to night time, really stunning. Huge platform, my goodness. But the trains never leave. We've got the animated tram zipping people between the gates. But the Stansted Express never leaves the station. And I feel like it's a little bit of a wasted opportunity. But it looks really good, doesn't it? It's nice that it's there, because it is part of the airport. Those of you certainly have used it, experienced it in the past, then it's something that you might be quite pleased to see anyway, and it's a nice touch. But I would like to see it roll off on the into the distance. But yeah, perhaps as Brian said, they're on strike like every other train driver in the country. Yeah. Even recent adverts, look. So very, very nicely done. At the station. And there we go. London Stansted by iniBuilds. Let's draw the winner. So one prize, one copy of this really nice new scenery available to be won courtesy of iniBuilds. We just need whoever's drawn as a winner basically to contact me within 24 hours, brishavgeek1@gmail.com, or via our Discord server directly. And of course I'll need to see that the profile that has won is the profile that you have access to and own. As always, good luck to everybody who's entered, and we'll be using more Stansted in the future for certain. So the winner is Jazz Charlton. Congratulations to you. Do contact me within 24 hours to claim your prize, and we'll get your email address and things sent straight off to the folks at iniBuilds to add to your account. Hopefully it will be releasing imminently as well. Yeah, big congratulations to you winning this really, really nice new scenery. The latest scenery for London, with the London area in Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. those of you who flew along, hope you've enjoyed the route and the flight. Everybody else in the live chat as well, I hope you've enjoyed the content today. Had a good little afternoon with us, zipping around Europe into this new scenery. The latest beta version from this morning, which is likely to be the release candidate as well. The final version releasing imminently at some point via the iniBuilds store. But in the meantime, as always, hit the like button before you head off. Keep an eye on the channel for some future streams and some future previews as well, though I can't really talk about them too much. Very exciting times ahead for the sim world, that's for sure, with some incredibly good aeroplanes coming soon, and of course some new scenery too. Oh, med time it is, yeah, definitely. He's got some more medication to take, and some exercise to do as well. We've got a very strict medication and exercise regime to stick up with. But in the meantime, as always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hit subscribe if you've not done so already. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel as well and you've not given us a little thumbs up yet so far. Massive thanks to Rox for donating a number of channel memberships today. And joining us as a gold frequent flyer, and Gav as well for donating some channel members too. And there was one other, Dan I think it was. Really appreciate all of your support, folks. As always, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.